Hi, you guys. How is everyone? Welcome. Hi, Grandma Sherry.
I just
Hi,
love
Proud
that.
Grandma of 3.
I love Grandma Sherry's. Hey, I was checking other lives to find you. I love that.
Aww. Demi.
Jimmy.
Happy Saturday, you guys. How is everyone today? Beautiful weather. Oh, good. I'm so glad it was nice where you are. It was weird today here. It was hot coffee. I'm so happy to see you. It is really humid and it was raining off and on today. And then the sun, it was like the sun would be out and it would be raining. And I'm like looking for my rainbow and there was no rainbow. But it was still a nice day. We got a lot done.
It's been in the 80s here.
Yeah.
You know, like it was in December.
How are ya? What's going on, LFT?
Nothing. I was reading Steven stuff and listening to, trying to catch up on all the other cases that are currently in trial today. And in my mind, it's just going, what the freak is wrong with some people in this world?
I know. Welcome back, Wheel. We missed you. We're happy that you're here tonight. Thanks for being here. Sorry, I'm just checking chat to make sure I didn't miss anything. So we're going to conclude the interview that we started the other night with Steven Peterson about Stephen Smith. You can't watch Valo or Letitia. I know. People have very strong opinions on them. Very strong.
I have to tell y'all, like, I remember, like, the poor Gannon, like, it's horrible, but I remember, like, the initial interviews, like, right after it happened, that one with, you know, like, they're on the front lawn kind of talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and then I don't mean to say, like, I forgot about it, but I, quite frankly, didn't give it but so much thought. Like, I had totally forgotten the details of it about him, you know, happening in Colorado all the way to being found in Florida. But like I said, this is the whole reason LFT has a Reddit account, is because before the, you know, the Corona beer virus, the Corona, you know, when Coronas were a big hit a couple years ago with limes in them and everything. I kind of got into it then, and so I started reading about it and just listening to all the craziness. And I have to admit, I've been trying to keep up after the fact or with everyone that's covering it, but I will admit that some of the information that came out yesterday, when I realized it late last night, I was going, holy flip. I did not know about those emails between, like, Charles and Lori and him calling her out and being like, I know, and I'm taking it public.
Yeah.
So I have to admit, like, I hate to say, like, juicy, but I was like, oh my God, tell me more.
Hold on.
Where do you think I'm going? I already moved I'm on the phone right now. See if the case is going to. I think so too. Will be. That
Oh,
actually, I said that to. Was that last night, Tia? That I said that to you? I was like, just wait for it. Wait for like one more. Imagine like when the next set. I don't know how long we'll have to wait in terms of the findings of this second autopsy, but it's just going to pick back up. And I can tell y'all, will like this. The timeline,
hi, BR Crumbs.
it is long. Will be get ready.
Oh yeah, this is one for the books. This is one for the books. I don't know if it's flipping off the courtroom. I saw that. I don't know if it's gonna blow up, but what would just be nice is to have conclusion. Um, and it would be nice for the family to have closure in this case after so long. But I'll be honest, the more I research it, I mean, obviously, I'm preaching to the choir here, but the more you learn. And like today was one of those days where I was just like, holy shnikes. You read the report, like I glance over the report first, and then I go in and I read it. And then I go in and I take notes on it. And
No
when I
way.
take the notes is when I really like learn the things. And it's like, holy crap. What?
Mm-hmm.
How did this go on for so long? I don't understand. Like, honestly, they have some. Hi, Petunia. I like your name. Well, come in. Just the shenanigans. Benjamin in a calm place. I saw you over there. Okay, so if you guys don't know, Allie on her backup channel, Real Talk with Alex Erickson, I I think it's still going on. Sorry for going over. I stalled. But they're doing a discussion, and I don't want to ruin it because I want her to get the views, but it's kind of a hot topics, if you will. And I mean, my blood was pumping.
I think it's amazing that, I mean, like we talked about it. We've had the benefit and the fortune of like talking with Allie about it, before she's been wanting to do this. Like
Rena?
she always kind of talks about it in terms of like, what was it? Like the view, imagine like
Yeah.
the view, like a round table, just having a
Roundtable
discussion.
discussion with women about different things, right?
Mm-hmm. And so I think it'll be great.
Well, what's interesting and she really, I think, pulled it off with this panel was she had some opposing parties, drastically opposing opinions, and then someone who I feel was like in the middle. And I thought it was great. And she did a great job hosting. The chat was super respectful. They got to, what I thought was amazing was they got to state their opinions, and everyone was super respectful of everyone's opinion. And it was just a really good, it was a really interesting. And there's some very powerful, strong women on that panel. There was some very strong people in the chat who had their feelings. It was great. Like, it was really cool to hear, whether I agreed or disagreed with the person. It was really interesting to hear their thought and their thought process. And I always value that. I always love to hear.
We're talking about Alex Erickson on her second channel, The Real Talk with Alex.
Benjamin says it was more civilized than I expected. That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
She had plenty of mods. Everyone was so great though. Like, it was, I thought, I mean, honestly, I think it went super smooth, and I'm really happy for her. And I'm really happy for the women that were on panel who got to state how they felt, because I learned something from everyone, Well, like I said, I might disagree with so-and-so about this and that. It's really great to, can we drop her link? Hell yeah, we can drop her link.
Oh my gosh. Do you want me, if I do
Yeah,
it?
could you mind?
Okay, if it messes me up, I'll be right
I
back.
don't think we have
I,
mod in here, do we?
I got it. But if it just messes up, I may sign out and come right back on if it does that weird, like,
That's
buffering.
fine.
I'll drop it. 1 second.
Yes, we can totally drop her link. Oh, thanks, Petunia. Yes, we'll drop both. And you can go over and subscribe. But I encourage you to give it a watch. I really do. All opinions were welcome and certainly stated, and it was a respectful conversation had by all, and it was amazing. Now, on to Steven Smith. I'm going to just stall for a second until she drops the link so you guys can have those.
Okay. Can you hear me? Because I sent it because I just realized I don't want to sign in on YouTube on my phone as well, but I sent it to a messenger, if the Real Talk one.
Got
for
it.
sure.
Do we not have that in? I don't know why we wouldn't have that in our.
Wait, Alex is thinking of doing a stream about my friend's son who went missing in West Virginia and was found dead 27 days after being released from jail. Really? Wow.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
But I'm really glad that to get some attention to it. That would be amazing, Will.
Yeah, Will, let us know if we can do anything to help. I'm really sorry. And I obviously let her do it if you're working with her. But if you need assistance behind the scenes, certainly let us know. We'd be happy to help you. This is her backup channel. That's Real Talk with Allie.
I feel like I hate calling them a backup channel. I just like calling them the second channel.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. That's yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Like I said, if you're working with Allie, we never, we don't want to be disrespectful to that. But always, if it's about getting exposure, then we will certainly help you there. Without a doubt. And prayers to your friends, family over there. That's a lot. So Steven Smith. Did you learn anything new today? Because I know I learned lots of new things today.
I'm going to let you give your honest. Did LFT learn new things today? You talked to me for most of the day while I was doing stuff. Did it? Yeah, right-ish. I did.
I mean, I learned.
I have more thoughts. I mean, I've thought more about the 2 PI, like the private eyes and the whole Parker.
Tell me your thoughts before we get into this. Tell me your thoughts. What do you got?
I think the PI thing is kind of interesting. Because now that I read a little bit more about it and I saw where some confusion was, because around that same time that I believe in 2021, when some of this, well, technically I believe it started in 2019 for sure with the PIs after, Mallory Beach stuff. But I was able to distinguish, there were 2 investigative journalists, I think, that people were kind of confusing. Wasn't sure if those were the PI or mouthpieces potentially for the 2 PIs, but they're actually they're 2 investigative journalists and then they're 2 PIs. They're 4 totally, different people.
So tell us the names of the PIs that we call Daryl and Daryl.
I knew you were going to ask that. Hold on, I'm looking. I wrote it. Of course, I'm on my phone. This is going to be amazing if y'all can still hear me. Can you?
Yes.
Shut the front door because I went to another app on my phone. Where I saved
we all said this kid was schizophrenic, jail released him, was notifying no one, and he was found 27 days later, lawsuit against jail, but I will afford. Oh, okay. Oh, that's terrible. Hey, Lavita, how kind of you to become a member. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Welcome. Welcome.
Y'all have way too
Um,
many notes in my notes section. 1 second. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I've got the names. The one time I don't actually write it down and put it on my phone.
that's okay.
1 second. I'm
That's
so
all right.
sorry.
So should I turn on the interview? If you guys missed, first of all, was it Grandma, where'd you go? She said she went through the videos that we posted in Facebook. I'm so glad that you were able to go through them. And that's a great place. If you guys want, let me drop that link too.
And someone make me pay it for, like, I need to do a super chat of like a minimum of $4.99 if I do not upload those 3 other transcripts that we did for that for Nick, Jen, David Urim, and Sandy, so that y'all can have those for reference too. I promise they're done.
Well, the other thing is too, if you're ever looking for transcripts of exactly what they say on YouTube, you can actually hit the it'll transcribe it, not the closed caption, but they actually do have a transcription of the conversation, so you guys can read it there as well. But everyone's welcome to join the Facebook group, and yeah, we want to talk about Mark tonight. So I got to get through this part 2 because we want to talk about Mark Bickhardt.
Oh, that was one. Don't even bother if y'all listen to his. Don't even hit the transcript thing because, or if you do and yours makes sense, then I will, please direct message us or email us and tell me how, because I could not get it to make sense.
So let me do full screen on this. We left off at this point.
DEA guy asking questions? What the hell is this all about? This is open up a can of worms that they thought was sealed.
Well, and to be clear, we're talking about theory A, theory B.
Right.
Theory B has no shortage of Murdoch family connections.
Correct.
Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah,
That's
right.
really kind of you.
Reference from Sandy Smith about getting the call.
Yep.
From Randolph Murdoch. You've got the references in the mate report by the Highway Patrol about lawsuits that Randy Murdoch brought. You've got the reference in the mate report about Randy Murdoch telling
Will, thank you very much.
Stepfather to come forward.
But no, that's wrong.
That's not right.
That's not correct.
So
the stepfather never said Randy Murdoch told me to call.
But that's in the report.
Yeah, I know. He claims no. I said a lawyer told me to call. He told me the lawyer's name.
Who was it?
I don't mention names. The lawyer's name, but he's adamant it was not
Randy.
Mark
Tinsley?
No, you know who I think it is? Honestly, I think it's Corey Fleming. Hey, Dragon Zone. I do. Because Corey Fleming was Patrick Wilson's attorney for the assault and for the attempted murder. I think it was Corey Fleming.
Wait a minute. Would that be why in some of the articles too, in terms of the two, like the motor vehicle accident lawsuits that were filed, remember how it says like another Murdoch, like not, it didn't say, it didn't specify, then filed that separate suit in 2017, right? In May or whatever it was.
Hold on. What? So wait, I think you're confusing. Things. Start over and say that again, and let me confirm what you're saying so that I'm confusing it with my brain.
In many of the articles that explained how at the time that, I believe Randy Murdoch was representing, I believe his name was Christopher Steele. And
it was the plaintiff in the accident
against Sean Conley.
Right.
Yes. So that was the one that was, in 2017. 2015 motor vehicle accident lawsuit
2016.
was, um, excuse me, 2016. Oh, then I may have accidentally put that on our 2017 part of the timeline. So let's double check that. But that's what I meant. But it's a motor vehicle accident lawsuit, but it's done by another Murdaugh. Like it doesn't say Randy. It just specifies like another Murdaugh attorney.
Well, there's only 2 Murdaugh attorneys.
Mm-hmm.
So let's clear that air right there. There's only 2 Murdaugh attorneys. Let me just interrupt for 1 second. Yo Dragon Zone with the nearly 4.0 GPA freshman year. Congratulations. That is huge. That is way huge. He got elected the social media chair. That's awesome. For early assurance to the master's program due to my GPA, I'm likely to get one of the 2 spots. Hey, will you keep us posted?
That's awesome.
Will you keep us posted? That's really cool. That is really, really cool. Congratulations. Keep up the great work.
It's awesome. Okay, I just found it. Let me just to you before I forget. Okay.
Yes.
Meanwhile,
hold on. Wheel says Grandpa was alive then. Yes, but wasn't he retired?
I believe so. He was. That's when. I mean, I think Duffy technically too was on his way in. Scott Duffy, or Duffy Stone. Duffy Stone. That's his name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. In 20. Yes, that's correct. So I think he was edging. I believe. May not have been as active, but let's just say the power, I think
it doesn't matter. He was still shaking babies and kissing hands. So
yes, but I just wanted to read just to clarify what I was saying about it says yet another Murdaugh. So it says all right, on August 7th, 2015.
Super proud of you, Dragon Zone.
August 7th, 2015, a month after Smith's death, Randy Murdaugh filed a motor vehicle accident lawsuit against Conley on behalf of his client, Christopher Steele, Still. Less than a year later, on May 17, 2016, yet another Murdaugh attorney filed a separate motor vehicle accident lawsuit against Conley. Both actions were later dismissed by Murdaugh-friendly judges in the 14th Judicial Circuit, which we all know. We know that the attempted murder charge, all that stuff was dropped.
Okay, but we need to talk about the attempted murder too. Hey, Risk, thanks for being here. Thank you so much.
Yay.
So the attempted murder, because I learned about that today too. I've been trying to figure out like what that was all about. And Sean Connolly was in a car. Okay, so Wilson claims that who was the driver? Okay, Jesus, my notes. Okay, let's start over.
Basically, what it was that changed it was that a witness said, okay, he shot the gun, but he wasn't shooting at someone. He shot it at essentially a stop sign.
I was going to say, let me go back and say this. He shot at a sign while arguing with a man. Okay. So that's what the attempted murder was. But there were 2 people in a car close by to where he shot, hence the attempted murder and assault. The grand jury indicted him August of 2015. While on bond, it was a $10,000 bond. His family says he shot at and filed several harassment complaints about Wilson. This guy's violent, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Corey Fleming was the attorney for Wilson and friend of Alec Murdaugh, who was the part-time solicitor and decided to drop the charges and not prosecute in February of 2018. I think that is so interesting that Corey Fleming was the attorney for Wilson who got the charges dropped.
Well,
And now Fleming sits his fat arse in jail.
he and Lafitte are in a world of a mess as well, I think. I mean, reputation, funny. I mean, just God, professionally and everything of the above.
When I'm here, I can't get Cheerios out of my head.
Oh my gosh.
I just think I had questions on what that actually meant, the attempted, like I didn't know what it was for, if that
I
makes sense.
need to dig, yes. And I think we need to dig deeper because I know in terms, and again, this is going at this point, since we don't have all the concrete evidence, like I know
Mhm.
some things are hearsay, but like we say, we can't, we might as well soak it all in because we're only, I think, spiting ourselves not to know everything.
Right.
But there is something, a big thing, and again, this comes along the time of when this is when some more of the cashing the checks. Believe me, that goes all the way back to the cash. By the way, is
Oh, yeah?
Kash. Oh yeah, the cash. His last name is Patel, and oh yeah, like so things were picking up then because they would cash actually checks. He was a runner, I believe, too for them, and
Mhm.
was able to cash checks at potentially that convenience store. They were brought there, and he would
Right,
go do
right.
it. There's something. There is a lot of there's a lot that happens within like a 6 to 7 month time period after, I mean, even a year or two after Stephen's death. But everything, and all these people have either potentially been mentioned, as in the reports and stuff. But all of a sudden, all these things start happening, and then
Mhm.
around the same time, and charges get dropped, and people's names are like, I never followed up. We didn't. It's either just coincidental and ironic,
Mhm.
or it's something. And that's where I think I'm struggling. Sometimes I have to kick myself out of that. This isn't. I can't think of just like Alec Murdoch. I can't, because I do think a lot of what he did
I'm going to be
was,
real again until there's proof.
yeah.
I going through these files, listening to these interviews and going through inch by inch, I have yet, and call me crazy, I know, I know, but I've yet to see where the Murdochs are involved other than getting charges dropped or like I have yet to see where Buster's involved. There has been, other than rumor, there has been
Mhm.
nothing of evidence. There's nothing of Alex in evidence. Why was Alex there at all?
I don't
Because
think
it
I don't
was,
think Alex was ever there. I didn't think Alex ever. I never
I
heard that Alex was there. I
I
always
heard
heard
he was there, but
Randy.
I heard that was rumor. I never heard for a fact. Randy's an
I'd heard Randy.
ambulance chaser. We went through this last time. They're personal injury lawyers. They, cops tip them off. You get $20 for every, and I'm exaggerating. I don't know if you get $20. I don't know if you get $1,000. I have no idea how many, but cops will drop, business cards and call the attorneys and say there's an accident here, blah, blah, blah. The things that I've read lately about this in the
Mhm.
file do not give me vibes of Murdoch's. I might be eating my words, but I think it's the two schmoes. I really do.
Oh, Dragon Zone, if you'll run an extra half mile for me, I would appreciate it. Because Dragon Zone's going to work out. Um, no,
Thanks for being here, Dragons, and I appreciate it.
I, I'm not. No, I'm not opposed to like the Murdochs just being, a rabbit hole in terms of Stephen Smith, but
Mm-hmm.
I would. I mean, swear to gracious, I knew like Stephen Smith. I remember when it happened, like seeing the news, and I can never remember. And I'm, again, if I'm just going off, like think about listening to the news and stuff. I never remember hearing Alec Murdoch, but I always remember hearing that yes, that Randy did show up, and even the cops have said that, like they were there.
Right.
But he wasn't. He didn't show up like while Stephen was. This was after, like how the cops all got there. They did the thing. The coroner, they removed the body. They do all that. And then later on, but like even later in the day, say about 3 p.m. on the 8th, then sergeants are telling, it's going down the chain of command.
No.
Go back and double check.
No.
Go look to see everything if you can find. And it was either that day or the 9th. It's like the 8th, somewhere between the 8th and I would say max like the 11th when they're back out there again, like taking pictures and just doing some more recon, if you will, like making sure they didn't miss anything. It was around one of those times when it was more just law enforcement out there, not the victim. But that's when Randy showed up. He didn't take pictures or anything, and everyone had said it was more like he was just kind of checking things out. Like it was almost a little bit awkward because it wasn't like he was taking pictures for himself or doing something in terms for his client. It was a little awkward. But that was, and it was left at that. There was no other mention. You know what I mean? And so until Randy says, no, I wasn't effing there, I think, and this is in my opinion, that yes, I don't put it past. I think he did show up at one point.
But who cares if he was there? He didn't
Yeah.
have anything to do with it. He was there to represent and figure out what was going on, probably because Patrick Wilson was involved. And he was looking.
And why? I don't think he ever see, and I think there's confusion in terms of, I think with Sandy, I think some based off what Sandy Smith said, they were led to believe that basically Randy, when he called, when they're there to identify the body, when Joe Smith gets the call from Randy, it wasn't, I don't think he was offering to say, hey, I'll represent you pro bono, everything. He was just there to like lend, I think, more or less legal advice, or if you need something, let me know. I can maybe point you in the direction. I never got the impression that Randy Murdoch was like, I'll take this case, if you will.
Well, and that's the other thing is
either. But that's weird too.
I think that Sandy, where's my mouse? We got to play this video. But I think Sandy has her strong opinions, and I don't think she's going to be real thrilled with the outcome. I think she's the leader of some of these rumors because someone has come to her and said the Murdochs. I'm not defending the Murdoch. What?
No, I'm sorry. I just saw someone had said, can we remind, I think it was Proud Grandma, remind me who Patrick Wilson is, please.
Oh, Patrick Wilson is one of the two morons, we call them the two idiots, that lived close by to where Stephen Smith was found. He's one of the ones that we showed their criminal record that's like 6 miles long for speeding and all that. Do you remember who I'm talking about now, Proud Grandma? Let me know.
He was the one that his stepdad was the Daryl Williams guy that ended up calling.
That's who we're talking about in this video right here at this point.
That's right now. Mm-hmm. But he was he was the one that apparently did a confession of saying that he was that Sean Conley had told him that he had hit something. He wasn't sure. He went back the next day and like cops were all around, and then he found out that it was a person. It was not a deer. You know what I mean?
But the important takeaway of this point right here is that Randy Murdoch. Hey, K-Braze, thanks for being here. Randy Murdoch did not call or advise Daryl Williams, who is Patrick Wilson's stepfather. He had nothing to do with telling him. That's what we are right here.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have anything to do with that. So Randy being mentioned in here is bullshit.
According to Steven Peterson.
I don't think Steven Peterson has a dog in this fight.
I don't think
say. Yeah, but I also don't think that he has motivation for lying and saying something that's not true. I don't get that this guy would cover for the Murdochs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm going to hit play.
Okay.
But
Okay.
but it was not Randy Murdoch's. He goes, I don't know how Randy Murdoch's name got, because it wasn't him.
Okay.
And I was like, okay.
But there's still 2 civil cases brought by Murdoch family lawyers. Then you've got Connolly, or rather Wilson, facing these attempted murder charges,
Right.
which are coming out of the 14th Circuit, which is obviously controlled
By the
by
Murdochs.
the Murdoch. So just, and again, the only reason I bring this up is we're talking theory A, theory B. They both got
They've all, yes,
And-
right.
connections.
But if you look at anything involved in the legal aspects, if you look at anything involved in the legal system in Hampton County, it's going to have Murdochs all over it.
Mhm.
Because if you're being prosecuted, Murdoch's part of the prosecution team, whether it's only a part-time pretend job or not, Murdoch's got his fingers in there.
Mhm.
And if it's a civil side, if it's worth any money, the Murdochs are going to be involved in that. So there's just almost no way to be involved in anything legally, wise in the legal system, and having that somehow the Murdochs don't have their fingers in the pie.
fair enough. But then you look at the outcomes.
Right.
You look
Suddenly
at
cases are
that
dismissed. Suddenly
attempted murder
things go
charge
away.
got dropped.
You're like, wait a minute. I don't want to sound like some kind of nut job
It
conspirator.
really
but-
was a great
Wait,
interview.
but
you're
Everything
not.
FITSNEWS does is
Attempted
amazing.
murder charge involving Wilson was dropped
Right.
by the 14th Circuit, and then those 2 civil suits against Connolly were dismissed by Murdoch-friendly judges.
Went away. Everything goes away.
So
Now-
do you think it was leverage?
I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't know what the benefit would be to Murdoch to stick up for the 2 guys that killed Steven. I don't know. Other than keep your mouth shut. But why would he care?
Mhm.
If they got convicted, how does that affect his family? So I don't know. I don't pretend to have all the answers. I haven't seen all the information.
But you
I
did
haven't talked
give,
to all the players.
you did give Sandy Smith your best assessment.
Yes.
And
yes.
is that still your best
Yes.
assessment? And tell, just for the, what did you tell her?
I told her theory A, theory B, but I named names.
Mhm.
I'm not going to name names here, but I named names with Sandy. This. But Sled said no, because these guys were not part. They were gone. They're not there. And I said, I believe it's these 2 guys. I gave her the names. I went into detail why I thought that way. And she was like, okay, all right.
So the most important question, where is this investigation going today?
Great question. No, nobody's talking to me about it. I don't know. I don't.
So quick reminder, theory A is the Murdoch boys with some other boys were involved. Theory B for him is Patrick and Sean.
know. I have no idea. In my opinion, for whatever it's worth, in my opinion, the only way you're going to get these people to do the right thing is somebody's going to cooperate. So there are a number of people on the periphery who, if they weren't involved directly, they were involved later on, in either keeping it quiet or removing something, hiding something. Hell, the trooper tells me when I interview him, it was done with a baseball bat, and they threw the baseball bat in the cornfield right here.
Just reminded me.
Somewhere in that cornfield, the baseball bat is. And I was like, okay, well, it's 5 years later. You think someone would have found a baseball bat? You know what I mean? So I went to the clerk's office. I dug through the property records. I found out who owned the cornfield. I went to the cornfield owner. I talked to them and the farmer who does all the tilling and harvesting, because the trooper's like, and they harvested that corn in July, and everybody knows you don't harvest corn in July. Okay, well, I'm
So
sorry.
you've chased down literally every
He's talking
rabbit.
about
To my
McMillan
knowledge, that
Farms.
people will speak to me at.
Mhm.
I went to a number of auto body places in Hampton, in the city of Hampton.
Mhm.
And some of them were they don't want to talk because, God bless, the media has been hounding everybody.
Right.
There's somebody there from 60 Minutes, 2020, all these shows, you know what I mean? Trying to get the scoop. It doesn't matter if the scoop's right. They want to be first. Doesn't matter if it's the truth. It's just whoever's first wins, regardless of who's
It
doing it.
drives me nuts.
So they're out there. But eventually, I sit there long enough and talk to them, and people, you develop a little rapport. Every person I spoke to me.
Mhm.
Initially, they didn't want to, but eventually they felt more comfortable, and they all said yes. Because my thing was, if the truck was damaged, either by the Murdoch or by the 2 idiots, if either vehicle was damaged, it would have to be repaired. Who would do the repairs? Well, one guy said, I do all the repairs on Murdoch stuff, and showed me copies. He wouldn't give me anything. Showed me copies of records. I fixed this car, this car, this car, this car. Never, in this time window that you're looking, never did anything associated that could be associated with Steven's death. But everyone I spoke to said, but if you go talk to this guy, Will had this auto body shop down the street, and he is crooked as the day is long. And if you gave him an extra $100, he'd fix it and never tell anybody. And so I was like, really? Yes. The problem is, he died like 2 years ago. So Will's dead. So if I were to bet, he's the one who fixed the car, but you're never going to prove it because Will's dead and the auto body shop's closed. And I was like, damn.
We've got destroyed evidence, missing evidence, dead potential witnesses. nothing really nailing down either of these theories.
Right.
How in the world is anybody going to bring charges in this case?
You do, in my opinion, you do exactly what I begged SLED to do
Grand
18 months
jury.
ago. You pick up everybody associated with this thing. You don't pick them up, but you go serve them with grand jury subpoenas. And you say, you go testify before grand jury. And some of them who are guilty are going to go, I refuse to answer on the grounds that might incriminate. I plead the fifth. And then you're going to just have to get a DA or prosecutor to say, we're going to roll dice, take a chance. We're going to give you immunity.
If you tell us what
you tell us everything, you tell us the truth. Now, you lie to us, that immunity agreement's off the table. But you're honest with us, and we can prove it and corroborate it. You tell us the truth, you've got immunity for Steven's death. I believe somebody would come forward because.
So there you have it. They're not looking for justice. They're just looking to see who did it, which to me.
But some people.
The second autopsy is going to tell them more about the crime. I agree. That's frustrating. Because we want justice. We want someone to pay for this awful thing that Steven went through.
But
and I do
thing
believe,
I keep him. Go ahead. Keep going.
I do believe.
Keep going. Sorry.
I do believe Glenjamin in the second autopsy is going to tell them more. I do agree with that. I don't know if it's going to tell us who, though. And that's the thing that I'm coming to terms with today, is it might tell us more about what happened, but I don't know that it's going to tell us who. And that's frustrating to me. And to me, who doesn't know Steven, but yet every time I see him, I get tears in my eyes. I love him already. Like, as a human being, I just think he's the sweetest, cutest thing. And I want justice for his mom, who I think is the epitome of grace. I don't think she's going to like the answer. And I'm so sorry about that. And I'm sick to my stomach for this family.
Well, I think this is part of where, in terms of maybe, because remember at the beginning, she was, I mean, even Stephanie said it, like, mom is held, like, she thinks Mark has something to do with this, Dick Hart, boom, boom, boom. But then I think as things evolved, and I think this is where, like what Peterson just said, here's the thing, you got to find a DA that's willing, to take this forward. Who was in charge? The 14th century circuit is Murdoch. And he's got, he can say, do it, don't do it, I'm not going to do it. But then this is where it gets a little, where that conspiracy or in those thoughts in your back of the mind are going like, all right, what the heck? Wait a minute. They're willing to let, it's almost like some people believe that it was kind of the timing of it kind of worked out well in terms of Sean and Patrick, like put some heat on them, let's turn the attention towards them. And then what they're going to get out of that is drop charges. Do you know what I mean? Like we'll work with you. You take this little bit of attention or, scrutiny, if you will, potentially as the assailant, what's the word? A victim and the perpetrator. But then if they can do that, but then what they got in return were charges dropped or, lesser charges were brought on instead.
Like I said, it's tough to try a case with no evidence. And right now, we don't even have circumstantial evidence. We have no evidence. They did crack his phone, and they do have all the texts, so it should be interesting. And yes, his tablet was smashed by none other than the two Parker private eyes, Daryl and Daryl.
Which those would be, the private eyes are Max, oh God, it's like Furtado, but it's Max, something that starts with Max F, and Henry Rosado are the private eyes. The two big investigative reporters were Greg Roman and Vicky Ward. And I think Vicky Ward was actually out of New York. And they apparently are ones too that had maybe involvement in some of these recent documentaries as well. But there's also speculation that these PIs were pushing information towards, the stuff that they were finding out, sharing that as well.
I agree with you, Will. It seems like they could eliminate or incriminate. I think that's.
God bless. It's been almost 8 years now. Their lives have gone on. They don't want to lose or sacrifice whatever it is they've achieved from now since then.
Which is nothing.
So there's all this
sat.
attention now, all this light, all these new investigatory resources that SLED's talking about. But at the end of the day, it's still an 8-year-old cold case.
Right. Of course it is.
Does any of...
Do you have something?
Yes, the 2 PIs were hired by Parker's. Randy never hired. I do not believe, I have not seen.
No, they were hired by Parker's.
Randy Murdoch hired. They were hired by Parker's, and the reason that Peterson is on is because he was working with Savage, who was representing. He came on to help Savage and Sandy Smith, the Smith family. Right. So he's technically the private investigator working, I guess, more or less, for the Smith family, but that was through Andy Savage. The PIs were totally different.
Yeah, Barney Fife life. One bullet, Barney.
Of that light, any of that attention, any of those new resources increase the likelihood that we get an answer?
Perhaps. They might have access to phone records. They can go back and pull toll information. And looking like within 24, 48 hours of Stephen's death, who was calling who? It's not going to tell you what they said, but at least it'll show a connection of people. And you might get a couple more people to interview based on that.
And perhaps they could find out, for example, Mark Bickert talks about hearing the mud tires.
Which, of course, the driver of Theory B had mud tires back on the car he was driving back then.
Has SLED, to your knowledge, confirmed any of Bickert's story about the mud tires?
No idea.
Call logs.
Couldn't tell you.
This is my favorite quote.
That Stephen was harassed at a gas station between Walterboro and Islandton.
No idea.
No idea.
No idea. No idea.
That would be a big break potentially if
Absolutely.
his story is accurate.
Absolutely.
Did you believe, and obviously you weren't the one interviewing him, did you believe Bickert when you heard?
No. Well, yes and no. I mean, he rambles on so much.
Oddly specific lies.
Yes.
He's lying.
Yes. I do believe him that he received a call. He spoke to Stephen. I mean, the phone records show that, right? They show calls. So
from Stephen to Bickert.
Yes.
And vice versa at the time of the incident.
Yes. Because the phone
kept those.
Yes. No, take it back. I've not physically seen them. I was told about them. I guess I've seen them in my mind's eye. I've seen them.
SLED's confirmed.
But SLED's confirmed them.
Those records are.
Yes.
Okay.
So the records exist, and he's not hiding it. He's like, yeah, the call kept dropping. Kept trying to call him back. He called me back. We couldn't get. I've been out to the murder scene. I've been in that area of the county. I'm sure you have. You don't get service in some areas.
We're going to try and.
You know what I mean? It's very spotty, depending on who your carrier is. So, you listen to Bickert talk, and I mean, he rambles on incoherently about crap that's not related to anything, but the stuff that is related, it's too detailed to be bullshit.
True story.
You know what I mean? So, in some areas, I do believe him.
Deborah, I agree. I think he's very.
And I don't believe he had anything to do with Stephen's death.
Well, let's talk about Nick Ginn for a minute.
I know who he is.
He's the current council member down there.
And that's bad.
In Barnwell.
He was with Hampton County Police Department.
Police Department.
Got fired.
Correct. And he is. Well, okay. So this is a guy who claims to have gotten a call from. It was
one of the guy's stepfathers.
Correct. And again, I don't want to put you on the spot of name and names here, but.
So the stepfather calls him and says, listen, this is what my stepson told me. He and another guy driving in a car, boom, hit something. Same story I just told you. He was so upset. My stepson was so upset about this event. So he was crying when he was telling me the story. When he finished, he went out on the back deck and vomited. I mean, these are details you don't make up. Right? And he stands by all that still. And
but he didn't say. So
he tells me
so didn't tell his stepdad
the police.
that he was necessarily in the car. Patrick Wilson, I don't think ever told his stepdad that he was in his car. When he told this story, when Daryl is retelling this story to said attorney, what happened, he said that after Patrick told him this, he went outside and threw up, and he thought that was a little off, and he was like, I think there's a chance that he was in the car as well, because why else would it affect him like this?
Right.
Just to clarify.
See?
Hey, Punksy.
There's a relationship there, or just somebody he trusted, somebody new. So Nick Ginn, according to a report I read, went out and photographed the truck. Got these photographs, turned them over to the Highway Patrol. I've never seen these photographs.
No one has.
I don't know if they were really taken. I located Nick Ginn. He's the only interview I did over the phone because I couldn't find him. And when I did find him, I didn't expect him to answer the phone. So we talked because I had him on the phone. But he tells me, I don't remember any of that. I don't remember taking any pictures. I don't remember. And I was like, how do you not remember? I mean, this was a big deal. A 19-year-old kid is dead. I mean, does that happen frequently in Hampton that you would forget about it, confuse it with another one? I don't know how this works.
And he was very specific in his interview with the Highway Patrol.
Yeah, I know. But he was totally denied it all to me. Now, I asked Sled, I told Sled about my interview with Ginn. I told him about what the Highway Patrol report said. And I said, according to this, he gave it to a trooper. And I don't remember the trooper's name, but Sled knew it because that trooper became a Sled agent. And I said,
hold please.
Trooper, it's Rao, Trooper Rao, right?
It is. I just wrote it down. Jiminy Christmas. It's in purple ink.
I thought it was Rao, Rowell.
ELL. Is that who it is? I thought that was
That's
the
who I thought it
corporal.
was.
Wasn't
He's referenced as Trooper a lot in the interviews. It says like Trooper Rao, and then he's right. He is, but yes.
Lieutenant Corporal? Isn't that the one? Hold on. Where's that?
That's what he is.
Damn it.
That is what
Janet.
he is now.
What was the date of that? My family. Okay, so now this is going to drive me nuts because I literally just read this. Ginn says Patrick is a good-hearted according to the file.
Yes, will be. You're correct. So Jen was with the Hampton. He was with the Hampton Police Department at the time that he had the phone call with Duncan, Corporal Duncan, with the Highway Patrol.
Which was so interesting because when they called, it went to a law firm, not to Ginn.
Oh yeah, because he was at like didn't he say he was at someone else's
like
desk?
It was his office.
Yeah, he was like, hold on, I'm at someone else's desk. Let me get the piece of paper.
I sent everything to Mitch Altman.
Oh wait, Mitch Altman. Oh yeah.
Okay. Rao is the lieutenant corporal in charge. That's who you're thinking of.
I said, well, where are those photographs now? And the guy,
that's right, Mitch Altman. That's right.
It's like I was talking to was just like, well, yeah, it would be nice to have them, wouldn't it? Indicating that they got lost.
Agreed.
They're gone.
This case could have been proven, couldn't have. Let's go back.
This is like the John Benet Ramsey case of the East Coast.
They drop you on Sandy Run Road the morning of July 8, 2015. They put you there.
Right.
You're in charge.
Well,
how quickly do you solve this case?
Oh, well, that's not easy to say because you've got to start delving into, well, you've got to go out and interview a bunch of people because you've got to figure out who the associates are because there's all these rumors out there, right? 5 years later, the only way I can find the truth is I have to disprove the rumors. Mm-hmm. And then whatever you're left with, how unlikely it may be, that's the truth.
Let me ask you two questions about the jurisdiction here.
Yeah.
Obviously, we established it was in the road, so it became a Highway Patrol investigation.
Right.
Sled's crime scene was there.
Right.
Hampton County Sheriff was there.
But it's so interesting because Mate, from the very beginning keeps saying, this is a murder. This is not a car wreck. Well, then why the hell are you guys investigating it?
That was my initial question to all.
That's something I could never figure out. Why do you have it?
From the beginning?
Mate says, well, we couldn't give it to anybody. County said they didn't want it back. Sled said they didn't want it back. So we were forced to investigate a murder. That's ridiculous. Sled says, nobody ever asked us officially to investigate it. We went there initially thinking it was a shooting. And when we were determined it wasn't, it was a car accident based on the pathologist's report, that we turned it over to Mate. No one ever came back to us and asked us to take it.
Who should have had this case from the beginning?
Well, in my opinion, Hampton County should have had it. That's why you pay these guys. That's why you have a police department. But if they don't have the expertise, if they don't have the technology to look at phone records and if they don't know how to do it, then it should go to Sled. If Sled is like at the FBI, I spent 20 years in Charlotte, work with the SBI all the time. The SBI only gets involved in investigations at the request of law enforcement in the jurisdiction where the crime occurred. The only exception to that are narcotic investigations. SBI can initiate them on their own. All other criminal investigations are done at the request of the agency that has original jurisdiction. I assume SLED operates the same way. I've trained enough SLED agents in narcotic investigations that I know they can initiate their own drug cases. But my belief is they can't go into a county and just decide on their own, we're going to run this homicide. Someone has to say, we want your assistance. There has to be an invitation. There has to be an official request. It can be a verbal request. Well, I need your help on this. But SLED says that never happened. We were never asked, so we never took it. So we had the Highway Patrol, who, God bless, they're probably wonderful at recreating accident scenes, working a murder investigation where if you listen to all the phone calls that they made, all the interviews, there are so many lost leads that were never followed up on. There were questions that were never asked. There were people that were never interviewed that should have been. And I don't fault the Highway Patrol. Hell, this is not their area.
And they said as much walking the scene. We don't see any tire marks or vehicular debris or mirror debris or shards of glass or any of that.
We don't see any of it.
So why did they get the case?
Because
nobody else wanted it.
3 hours were so convoluted, and it went back and forth. Like that first day in 2 days, and then that next week, it went from like SLED, they were like, okay, CHP, like Highway Patrol's like, so they went to SLED, and SLED's like, there's no bullet wound. It's back to you. It wasn't a gunshot. So that's why SLED then goes back out there to take all the picture. I mean, SLED and Highway Patrol then have to turn around after they realized at the autopsy there's no gunshot because they thought it was potentially a gunshot. It's not. Okay, so now it's different. Go back out there, see what else you can find. It literally, like when you read the MATE report, aka the MAT report, it's crazy. Like I did that beginning of that timeline, and I cannot tell y'all how many times I was typing like, okay, so now so-and-so is saying this. So it went back to see like Highway Patrol. And Highway Patrol met at, these two representatives were at the autopsy. And then they were like, thinking,
do you know what I put in the timeline more than I care to think about is the fact that they keep saying he was killed. He was killed.
Mm-hmm.
They keep saying he was killed. And yet here we are 8 years later. He was killed. And oh, by the way, we didn't go back and interview some of these people. Oh, by the way, we destroyed evidence. Huh?
Wait a minute. Here's the other big news. DeWitt from the local paper. I will post the link in just a second. Y'all, they found, like, remember how they said the R kit was lost? Everything? Nope, they have it.
It's all there. They have all.
It's all there.
They just look at me when I'm talking to you.
No, I can't.
Just didn't do anything with it. Like, how do you how do you keep saying I have a murder investigation? I have a kid lying in the middle of the road. But we're not going to do anything. We're just going to let it go.
Because politics and responsibilities were at play. Like who's in charge of what, and there's not there's a way internally that they can explain it all.
Dueling dicks on your time.
Mm-hmm.
Not on my time. And that's where I have the issue with all this. I don't give a crap about who wants to be in charge of what, where, and when. Figure out who killed this child. Because he was young, 19 at the time. And that person needs to pay. If it's a Murdaugh, so be it. If it's not, so be it. I don't care.
And last I checked, a hit and run in any kind of situation is a crime.
This Patrick Wilson, who gets off on attempted murder, first degree, times 3, not just 1, 1, 2, 3. Either Corey Fleming is the best attorney as he sits his ass in jail. We know the answer to that. Or he's got good friends, wink, wink, Alex Murdaugh, who sits his ass in jail. I just read a comment from someone saying, oh, K-Braze. Yeah. Honestly, if it was me looking into this case, I'd almost feel like I'd be worried about the safety.
Yeah, I think that's part. I think you're right. Like, even innately, in terms of whether you're a witness or you know something or you're a member of law enforcement, I think up until this point, like, people think just because Alec's been sentenced and found guilty, like, everything goes back to normal. I don't think that's quite the case. I think that's the hope.
I think there's still a Murdaugh strong arm going on. I really do.
But this is what gets me, is that you've got, like you just said, you've got Corey Fleming representing Patrick Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
You've got other Murdaughs representing, having connections to plaintiffs in cases related to Sean Conley. And we saw how Alec worked. And again, this is where I need y'all to stop me, because you have to remind me this is not the same case. But look at how it just makes me think, I'm sorry, but how the way Alec worked, go with Satterfield. He got Corey Fleming to come on, to help with the Satterfield stuff, and finagled your way around it. I understand why there is some finagling, because you look at the people involved with the defendants and the plaintiffs, and who are they working with, and what is, like, how can, hey, we'll do this if you do that.
Actually, K-Braze, this thought crossed my mind and went right out of my mind until you just brought it up again. And this is such a freaking valid point. I'd like to know if there were any other major cases going on at the time of his death that took priority. That is noteworthy.
If you Google the number of prosecuted cases in Hampton, I would suggest Hampton and or Colleton County between 2015 and 2020, you'll be shocked.
But were there any major cases saying murder investigation got everyone?
That's what I'm saying. I don't even know if you can call it a major case, because it never made it that far.
I need to understand. Saying murder investigation got everyone happy. Man said autopsy was positive.
Okay, I'm muting real fast. I have to eat one piece of sushi.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
I don't know. Hell, I don't know.
Let me ask you this. SLED has indicated within the last few months, and again, we're here in early part of 2023, SLED has indicated making significant progress in the investigation.
Great.
What do you think they're referring to? Is significant progress saying, hey, we've gone back to these two guys that were initially made? You think that's what
I think that's their significant, because they didn't have any of that.
It's like kissing.
When Paul and Maggie were dead, were killed.
Mm-hmm.
The information was there, but no one ever read it. Highway Patrol, SLED never read any of the Highway Patrol reports. It wasn't until they got that information and they suddenly opened the file and read it, and they said, well, damn, there's information here.
Yeah. So your belief is that the significant progress that SLED has made in the murder investigation of Stephen Smith is just literally opening the Mate report and seeing those names?
Yes. Now, they may have taken it further. They may have gone out and interviewed since. Now, I haven't been involved in this thing for about a year.
I think it was something connected to a case they were associated with.
For about a year, maybe a little less. And because I couldn't go any further. I can't subpoena phone records. I can't get that information. There's only so much as a guy that I can do. I don't have the same authority, the same subpoena power. I don't have that I can get this information, but they do. And I've had a couple of people that I tried to interview who refused, said, I'll talk to SLED, but I'm not talking to you. I was like, okay, well, that's probably what it'll come down to. SLED will come see you one day.
We've talked about
or not, or maybe they won't.
The missing evidence,
maybe SLED will just not.
Rabbit holes that seem to never end, the uncooperative witnesses. We've talked about all these things that have hindered the pursuit of truth, the pursuit of justice in this case. But let's talk about one other.
Seriously, Wheelby? Oh my
factionalism
God, I didn't know that.
It's almost like teams rooting for a winner in a game. I mean,
everybody has, it's like I said earlier, everybody has an agenda here. Everybody has an agenda.
Gosh, Wheelby, I feel like sometimes we have the same Google
When I was
searches.
involved in the investigation initially, I was getting calls daily from the media outlets. reporters asking questions, asking to speak, asking for interviews. I did not speak to any of them. Didn't talk to anybody. Right? Then there was only so far I could go. Then of course so I basically sat down with Sandy and said, if I come up with any new information, when Netflix came out,
here.
It generated some leads, and Netflix forwarded those leads on to me, and I pursued them, and they amounted to nothing. Most of them were just crackpots who watched the show and had a theory of what had happened. Kind of like all these blogs you read about the Alex Murdaugh trial. Well, I believe this happened. Okay, yeah, and then aliens came down. You know what I mean? I mean, just ridiculous. So I told Sandy, if I get information, I will follow up on leads. If I get information, I will share it with you if I find it credible, and if I'm able to follow up on anything, I will share it. She said, thank you so much. Now she's on her third legal representation. I don't know that the second attorney did anything to assist her in finding the truth.
That's the difference.
I'm not sure who established that relationship. I don't know how she found the guy. That's not my business. I don't care.
But do you get what he's throwing down here? He's saying, I'm telling her what I'm finding. I'm talking to these people. I'm doing the legwork. And I'm telling you, B is the way to go. B is the way to look at this.
Mm-hmm.
And she's still, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, but she's still on A. So,
but I
think that he is politely saying he's not working on this anymore because it's really hard to work with a family who is so insanely focused on Buster, and perhaps Buster wasn't even there.
Or just a Murdaugh name. Period. Not even if it's Buster. Just
okay, but who? Paul then? Paul was 15.
Oh, that's what if I y'all are gonna see. This is when you can't leave me alone to like read stuff, because remember like the Watt stuff when I said, look, he said they were on their way out. Like pick up on those little things that we've read 50,000 times. Some of the stuff that I noticed in terms of, and I will post it. In just a second, I'll look on the computer. But there was an article I was reading, and I realized though the way they answered the question only related to Paul. It didn't relate to like Alec or Buster. It related to Paul, and they were answering in relation to something about Paul. And so that's like you could read right over it, but then I'm looking at it being like, wait a minute, and some people in the past have said they thought they put Paul, if you had to pick between Buster or Paul, who was, that would have done it, half the people thought Paul was the one driving.
But neither kid, and this is what I go back to, neither kid is violent. Neither kid has a violent record. Paul's a drunken idiot. He's a moron. He's got Timmy. I'm sure Buster is probably about the same as far as the drinking goes, but neither has a violent record. Now, I can't say the same about the other two morons that we're talking about with Sean and Patrick. They have violent records. They have assault and battery, attempted murder. They have all the things. They trespass. They don't give a shit. They think they run that county.
But so just like I'm being honest right now, if I had to go with what you described right there, exactly that description of those two guys, out of all the Murdaughs, I'd say you just described Paul Murdaugh.
But he's not violent. Again. Where's his...
yeah, I mean, not... Yeah.
He smacked his girlfriend. I'm not saying he's not violent there.
Smacked his girlfriend around. The guys, when he's drinking, for sure. Like everyone said,
in his girlfriend's
his
face,
personality.
But that doesn't mean that if Anthony Cook popped off to him, that he wouldn't back off.
Oh, I bet they would both take a swing at each other. See, that's where we differ.
Oh my God! I think Anthony would have thrown his ass overboard. I don't think there would have been a swing from Paul.
I mean, that's okay. That's
No
what I'm saying
chance.
though. Like I could see Paul being like coming at him but that was part of the thing that Anthony even said and Connor said about that night, that on the boat you get to the point where you know there's no return with it. Like you can fight him, but it's going to turn in even.
But I think what he was saying is he would have beat his ass.
Yeah, because they didn't want it to, like they have that filter. They stopped themselves.
Okay, but we're tangled up in our underwear
would.
here. My point being that I need to turn my phone off. My point being that we don't have a record of violence when it comes to Buster and Paul. We have a record of violence with these other two. And K-Bray said, so it's true they found something during the trial? Yeah, it's the mate report. That's what they found. They cracked open the mate report.
Yeah.
Okay, K-Brays, it can fully focus. I was like, oh, butterfly kisses. That was so sweet. Thank you.
Oh, wait. Oh, gosh.
I'm an accountant. I see it all the time. What makes you crazy when accountants steal money? Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Paul thin.
Mm-hmm.
Paul would have gotten slapped around with the people I grew up with too.
Yeah, but Paul would be the one to push the button, be willing to try to throw the slap. Do you know what I mean?
I'm not saying he's not a mouthy little bitch, but that's exactly what he is, a mouthy little bitch. He would have gotten his ass handed to him once, and that would have been the end of it. There's no way he's going out. I can't. He's going to go out with a gun, first of all. Because he had a gun with him all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Unless he was driving. Yeah, he did, technically. But again, this is me going down like, okay, I'm throwing the next thing out here about it. Apparently, no one ever specified if it's a black or blue kind of truck, Suburban, Z71. The people that drove that, he had been driving Buster's car. He didn't even have an effing car, and Buster wasn't the one that carried guns and everything around. Yeah, but that apparently doesn't stop anyone in South Carolina from driving as though they do have a license, because not only did Paul do it at times, so I mean, Steven's driving on a permit at the age of 19.
Okay, but you're trying to pin something on someone we have zero. Like,
I'm sorry. I'm not trying at all to pin something on anybody else. Just
okay. So you're arguing a point that it could be the Murdochs, but they weren't even in the county. Secondly, you're saying that Paul could be the one, and he could be out driving on what?
If he's just driving Buster, I was just saying, like, my guess would be like he would be driving Buster's car.
Did he have no tires on that car?
I have no idea at this point.
Right.
But no one's even, like, we're going by Sled saying, Sled is the one that's saying, right. We don't even know who has said that those boys were officially out of town.
Listen, here's my point. Here's my point. Right? Where we're pointing in the direction that we're pointing with these two morons, the boxes are being checked.
That's true. Yes.
The boxes are being checked. Right. Paul doesn't take any boxes. Not for me. He doesn't tick one. Not one. He's a 15-year-old kid. And no offense, I don't know that he's going to be hanging around the big kids. I don't know that Buster was that fun-loving brother to him that he, I don't get warm and fuzzy with Buster and Paul. Sorry. I don't get that they were best friends hanging out all the time.
They had very different, and I think they were just, two very different, from the same, the same batch of cookies, but two very different coming out. One enjoys being outdoors and doing everything hunting since they could walk. The other likes it, like when they do it, but was more, I think, you got an indoor boy and an outdoor boy, if you will.
Right. But I'm just like, I can't get behind Paul. I can't. I really can't. And
I agree, Jimmy.
Oh, yeah. Here, let me play the end of this and then we'll get into more.
I don't think anything was ever taken further. Now she's on the third. He's put together a team, had the body exhumed. Hey, maybe they'll find something I didn't see. Hey, maybe. God bless. I hope they do. I don't know. If you've got SLED working with you and people are open and honest and not trying to keep everything. At some point, I was even told by SLED that the Stephen Smith case is going to take a back seat to the Paul and Maggie murders. We've got to solve that. We've got to convict the people involved with that. That's got to go first. When that's over, we'll get back to Stephen. And I couldn't understand that. I was like, well, why can't we do both? Why can't we walk and chew gum? And SLED only got 5 guys? You know, can you only 5 guys work on Paul and Maggie and nobody else can work on Stephen? Send me a rookie. Send me a guy right out of the academy. I'll ride with him. Hell, I'll teach him as we go. Well, yeah, they don't want to hear that. This is all ego. This is all about ego stuff. So SLED was made to look somewhat questionable in their abilities during the Murtaugh case. But that's the defense's job. No matter how great a case you might have had, the defense's job is to point out all the crap you could have, should have, would have done. That's their job. If you muddy up the water enough, nobody can see the clear picture.
Look at you go.
You know, because SLED was made to look stupid doesn't mean they're stupid. They're not stupid. They're very effective. They're very good. They're very professional. Did things fall through cracks? They always do. That's what happened in Stephen's case in the beginning. The body went from the street to the coroner, to the pathologist, to the coroner, to the funeral home.
Pathologist to the grave.
Every time the body was managed by a different entity, evidence is lost. Mm-hmm. They took a rape kit test. Where's that? That got misplaced. That's never been tested. We don't know anything.
Oh, I got
Not that that would make a difference, but the point is, hell, we can't keep track of what we got. You know what I mean? And in 2015, a gay kid in South Carolina is killed on the side of the road. Did anybody care except for his family?
No.
Nobody cared. Nobody cared. He's just some kid. He's nobody. If it was Buster or Paul, oh, big deal. Prominent family. This is Sandy Smith's son. She's nobody. It's just like any other kid is dead. I'm sure thousands of people in the state over the years who have died in the last 5 years unsolved.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody cared, then everybody cared.
Yeah, and the only reason everybody cared is now the spotlight is on. Now the spotlight is on, and the feeding frenzy has begun.
And the cash registers are ringing.
They seem to be
ratings.
All right. So he's just gonna. They don't really give any more information out at that point. But what I do want to tell you is I will put this link in the description. And if you're interested, go watch this interview on your own. It's a great one to listen to a couple of times. Why do I say that? Because I missed things the first go around. The second go around, I wound up tuning into a couple more things. The whole problem with South Carolina is up to upstate, which morons in charge. God,
you know what I've been?
I've
been thinking this entire time.
That's amazing. I had no idea.
Literally Google it like crazy. I did it for like Hampton County, Colleton County. But do you know what else I just thought of? You know how you were just saying like every time you watch it, you find something new.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here and I'm looking and I go, I wonder if that's is Steven Peterson shirt? You think that's like the green aqua blue, like the green aqua version of the Vinnie Vine shirt?
No, we saw the Vinnie Vine shirt. P.S.
I know.
Vinnie Vine is having 50% off sale. We saw Alex Murdaugh's shirt last night for 50% off.
Yeah.
I came damn close. I did get a shirt, but I came damn close to buying that for shits and giggles. I'm not going to lie.
We're working and she goes, oh my gosh. And I was like, what? She goes, hey. I was like, She's, there's Vinnie Vine's 50% off. So we both are like, well, hell. So
yeah, totally.
Like everything else,
we could shop for Vinnie Vines, according to Alex.
But
and Alex's shirt was in there.
Yeah, but I was sitting there looking at his shirt this time, going, "Well, hell." It was very like I need to see the pocket. Can you zoom in a little bit because that's essentially he was wearing the short sleeve. I want to say that Alex may have had. It was his look more like the kind that you wear, like the fishing shirts, you know, for that are also like that kind of more.
Can you send me a sparkly pale pink? I love sparkly pale pink. Can you send me Mark Bickhart's interview by chain?
Yes, I can.
And I'm gonna take this off the screen.
Seriously, By the way, so I learned something new talking about
Tell me.
every time you learn something or watch something. Hold on, let me sign in so it goes straight to it. So Mark Bighart apparently has a pet. I'm not sure if it's a cat or a dog, but it's named Lollipop. Because I'm literally typing like.
Oh, good night, Hot Coffee. Thank you for
Oh,
being
shoot.
here. I really appreciate it. Thanks for being
Have
here
a good
tonight.
night. Oh wait, hold on. I was about to literally give y'all my password out loud. Hold on one second. LFT cannot walk and chew gum. Let me see if I just logged in right. Okay. Yes, I'm sending it to you. So like bravo to anyone who can follow his his interview, because it literally goes, I mean, it's interesting. I agree with what Peterson said. Like it's ramblings and stuff, and like some of it is BS, but then some of the BS is so specific to some of the stuff that actually makes sense that it's too specific to be BS. But when you listen to this, oh my God, it's just a headache. He literally is like, "Hey, Lollipop, don't eat whatever that is off the rug. I promise you, I don't have money to here you go, to take you to the vet." I was like,
This has never apologized for being late. Don't even worry about it. And I can't wait to hear about the case that you're working on. You'll have to email me and let me know. Did you send it? Where am I looking?
In Messenger in uno second.
Oh, okay. You know I have it.
Sorry, it's right here. I'm sending you the YouTube version of it.
There's Nicken. Yeah, I want the YouTube version if possible.
Pause it.
If you can. Oh, look at us. I'm in the Messenger and I'm looking at the Mountain Sweater Fleece Quarters.
Oh my gosh, Vineyard Vines is popping up all over my thing right now, even on my ads on the MSN.com thing. Here you go.
Did you order the tennis shirt?
Yes. Because I love tennis, and I did the tennis one, and no, I only ended up doing one.
Okay, there we go. Hang on one second.
Y'all jump on. Oh, by the way, it's Vineyard. Go to the Vineyard Vines outlet for the 50% off right now.
I think it's very odd that there's been no press conferences. I also think that technical difficulties are fine. I also think that press conferences are coming because, hang on, let me get this straight. You're going to hear an echo. How about the prison furniture?
Wait, what? Oh gosh, hold on.
Hold on, let me get this over here.
Oh, will be. I have so many new. Just I'll surprise you at the end. I'll come in. I got some good thoughts for you.
Oh, it can only be good.
I literally, when we got off that night, I literally was like, "Could I have made a bigger ass of myself?"
I thought that was hysterical. Probably. I really did. I thought it was. You're like, oh, it's so. It's.
I remember it. I don't go. And here's the thing, y'all. I will not go. I hate the sound of my voice on any kind of recording, so I never go back and listen. But I had enough shame when we got off, and I was just like, "Oh my gracious!" I was like, I mean, that said my whole I was just, well, just kind of tuck your head in the sand. I just had that tail between my legs kind of feeling.
I laughed so hard too. I thought it was. I couldn't.
Just the way they described the housing, I just felt like it was very they were like, look, we've got faith-based housing. We're not there yet. Let's not. But put a pin in that, will be, and don't let us forget, because I could end with a good laugh.
Oh my God! All right, so this is Bickhart's interview, and I'm gonna try to speed it up.
Yay!
Kind of tough to hear, but I'll.
I strongly suggest not speeding it up so much, because
I know. Hi, Nay. Hi, Shay. Hi, Bay.
Flash me, nay.
You did. Did you really? Welcome in, guys. Okay, I'm gonna hit play on this, and yeah, I mean, strap yourselves in. This guy is.
This is so entertaining for me.
South Carolina Highway Patrol, mate. Post C, case number on this will be CL-062-15. This is a reference to an incident in Hampton County on Sandy Run Road.
Hi, Amanda.
Time is approximately 11:48. Today's date is July the 14th. I'm here with Mr. Burkhart. Also in the room with Will, the trooper
Amanda, feel better. We
Rowe
love you.
and Corporal Smith. At this point in time, I'm going to get Mr. Burkhart. Mr. Burkhart, if you would just state your first and last name for me.
First name is Mark, M-A-R-C. Middle name is Peter, P-E-T-E-R. Last name is Bickhart, B-I-C-K-H-A-R-D-T. Birth date is 4/18/68.
And what's your phone number?
Happy early birthday, buddy.
And
That's the most
and how long have you been
concise
living here?
sentence you're going to get out of him.
Gosh.
Here, just a rough estimate.
Told
Doesn't
you.
have to be exact.
2 weeks, maybe, possibly.
Where were you living at prior to that?
94 Savannah Highway.
In Buford?
Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
Okay. And
We're
as far as
sorry.
your educational level, what kind of education do you have?
12th grade, but I didn't graduate.
Okay. You understand how to read and write? Understand English and stuff?
Yeah, basics.
I mean, can you read?
I could read, but
Here,
can't
Nay.
comprehend
Thanks for
sometimes.
popping
Okay.
in.
But you can read is what I'm saying.
Yes, I can read, but I have dyslexia.
Okay. You can write?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Spelling ain't that good.
that's fine. I mean, I'm not worried about, the grammatical errors.
No, I'm just telling you, I can read, I can, like comprehension, but spelling is not there. I was going to go back to school.
All right, let me ask you this. How long, or is this your permanent resident as of right now, or is it just temporary?
We're hoping we've got permanent, but I'm not sure right now.
Are you living here by yourself, or you living with somebody?
My son should be coming, but I'm not bringing him in this situation. I got a 5-year-old son.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
All right, let me kind of go back.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. So yeah,
I did know this,
he does-
but I mean, let's just unpack that for a second, because in order to get a son, you have to have a wife. Oh, no, excuse me. How close-minded of me. Have to have a woman. That I'm certain of. I thought this gentleman was, well, apparently he's not, so I take that off the table. But what woman slept with this man?
I don't want to talk about it. I don't.
What? What?
I just think of remember what was the movie with Michelle Pfeiffer and what's his I Am Sam? Like when it's the sweetest movie ever. I think it's something like that.
No, I don't.
Demi said his sister. Demi said his sister.
Yeah, okay. See?
Back, you're familiar about the incident where Steven Smith died last Wednesday. Is that correct?
Yeah.
All right. What I want you to do is when was the last time you talked to Steven?
That night.
All right. About what time? Not the text, but about what time is the last time you talked to him?
You have to remember with all this, I took my Seroquel sometime. I can't remember if the call came.
I'm just asking for a roundabout time.
I can't remember if it came after the text or before the text, because the last call I heard, I asked him on one of the calls, "Are you walking?" Because he already told me he was out of gas. He was running out of gas. One of the calls before, and I says, "Are you walking?" Because I hear cars going by, and his answer to me was no. And then the call dropped. And I don't remember if he called me, because we were back and forth. The calls kept dropping.
After the call, did you text him?
This is like PTSD.
I don't remember. There were texts. We had so many texts back and forth that night on me worried about him calling me. Phone service out there, and with this phone right now, we're having issues with our phones. Right. And half the times I don't have service.
Do you remember if it was daytime or nighttime when this was going on?
This was at night. This was 3 a.m.
Okay.
I believe the last text, if my mind calls me correct, that I looked at it was 3:37 a.m.
Now, was he coming over here?
He was supposed to be. He was supposed to be on the way. But from what I'm learning, he was headed home.
Okay.
But, I don't know.
Okay. So, but as far as you know, he was coming over here.
That was what we were talking about, and that's what the texts were saying.
Okay. Anything else on them texts about where he had been?
Earlier that day before we left to go to Walterboro to go, because my friends had to go to GameStop to get a game. We went to Walmart. From Walmart, we went to Arby's. Then my friends went to his cousin's house. Then my sugar dropped again. We went to the exit right when you come to from 57 to come here to Hampton. There's a Warren gas station, I believe.
Listen, I don't know what time of day or night it was, but we stopped at this 543 72 601 road at 4:17 p.m. and the guy was wearing a blue shirt. But I don't know what time of day it was.
No, you
but
just
I got
gave
a
more
Hershey
detail.
bar.
But you just gave more detail. Like me and my friends, but in a second, his friend's cousin is gonna have to go somewhere. Just help.
Amen. This. Let me tell you something. His Facebook still says he's in love with Steven. I live in NC and I can't pick out their accents.
See, that's Glenjamin that cracks me up because I'm like, I hear it. That's when we were listening to like Ronnie Watts. You were like, what did he say? And I was like, you didn't.
Oh my God.
You didn't know that? And I was like, I could totally tell what Ronnie Watts to say. I was like, have you been to Fayetteville?
Ever see Dick Tracy back in like the 80s, 90s? Dick Tracy, Warren Beatty, Madonna. I think it was Dustin Hoffman that played Mumbles. If you know, you know. But he literally was like, that is Ronnie Watts to me with a Southern accent. All right, Shay, come back and join us. Yeah, I heard a loud truck. Right. Yeah. Oh, she understands. Yeah.
If it is, we went back there. I got $4 worth of gas, and my friend went in to get me a Hershey bar. And the girl, African American girl, was
the phone.
Don't worry, guys.
I'm so sorry for anyone wearing earphones. His phone is going off like crazy. It is not ours. I wouldn't do that to you guys. I'm so sorry. Hi, Allie. Thanks for popping in. That's really nice of you. We were just talking about your live, and we sent everyone over to watch it because it was so great. Filling your lawnmower. She needs to walk. Yeah. We were just talking about your live, Allie. So hopefully, also it's 11:11. Make a wish. We're talking about how great that was, and I have a dog. Hold on.
was pulling all the garbage and everything. He may need to go to work. Hold on. Hey.
Yes. Do you need to go to work?
I'm in an interview. I can't talk. All right. You got to go to work? I already cut that off. Sorry.
Right. So Steven had been with you earlier in the day, right?
No, I was not seeing Steven at all. That day at all.
When's the last time you actually saw him?
Saturday.
But
the family saying that his SUV was not around. That SUV that he came to my house, came to see me several times, and even times before that I didn't have a car, been driving around this town.
Well, is this gray car out here the one you drive?
That's the one I drive. Okay. That's my Lincoln.
And you have any other cars? Is it in your name?
Yeah, that's in my name. That's registered and insured in my name.
Okay. Any other cars registered in your name?
Not registered.
But do you have any other cars?
I had to rent a car when I first came here.
Get ready for it.
Was having trouble.
Y'all let me know if this makes sense to you guys.
How long did you have it?
Less than a week. About a week. I had it from Tuesday to Tuesday.
You talking about Tuesday?
That's going to change a little bit.
Week?
Yeah.
And you just turned it in?
Turned it in this Tuesday, so I had that.
You talking about today you turned it in?
No.
The
Tuesday I was trying to get to it.
No. You idiot. No.
If you could. The next day that he got killed, I had the car. I had the Lincoln Tuesday.
The day that he got
killed. The day before he got killed, the Lincoln, I had the Lincoln.
Okay.
Right. So I had the Jeep the week before that.
Okay. All right.
And until that Tuesday.
So throughout the day, had you been talking with him and all?
We were mainly texting up until later on. I think I did talk to him at some point. I don't remember when. I know we talked because he said he was. I know I called him a lot of times. His signals are not good. I don't remember when, a time frame, but I know we did talk, and he said he was either a text or something. He said it was about an hour and a half out.
Okay. So the conversation that y'all were having, what was the conversation y'all were talking about?
Mainly, was he going to come? Just normal boyfriend and boyfriend talk. I mean, we love each other, yada, yada, yada. I called him at one point. I know I left messages.
I got zero problem with boyfriend talk. None, zero. Fine with me. Enjoy. This guy saying that gives me all the chilly willies in the wrong.
It's because I didn't get him that we were going to Walterboro. And if I think I texted him the same thing because I didn't get him because I wasn't sure whether he was in school, whether he was in work. A lot of times I'd like to text him to make sure he wasn't in school because if he was, he could get in trouble if his phone was on. So I tried to text him first. To be honest with you, the next day I was upset with him because later on that day, I had a deep gut feeling something happened. For the simple reason the phone wouldn't even take it, would go right to voicemail.
Well, let me ask you this. Have y'all been arguing here lately?
We did have a little argument back because somebody's been messing around. He has it, and I just changed all my passwords because Craigslist things are coming in that I wasn't.
This is where I got confused. Still coming in.
And now as of last night,
when you say things were coming in, what kind of things were coming in from Craigslist?
He has my pictures. I have his. Good.
Yep.
All the icks. All of the icks.
I think Steven was probably having the same kind of feeling that we all were right here, but he's like, I'm juggling this. And I'm like I said, the whole escort thing,
he was green.
Trying to help himself, you know what I mean? But he was like, okay, he's paying for my phone. I'll humor him for now. Like,
listen, Steven is a better man than I. I'd be. I know. Graham sharing. Me too. I'm like, oof.
I'd be telling him at
Steven is
noon.
So
I'd be telling that guy at noon. It's midnight. It's time to take your sleeping medicine.
Like Steven's a beautiful human being. Like just photogenic and beautiful. And this guy, he just looks like he smells bad. You're getting stalker vibes. Me too. Right. And who doesn't go pick up their significant other on the side of the road at 3 a.m?
But guys, wait a minute. We don't remember maybe y'all don't know this yet, but there's this whole thing with this Lincoln, and he was driving the rental car, which by the way was a Jeep, which is a car that people say they see driving around. But the Lincoln, he was worried about it. That's maybe why.
Are you thinking like Jeep Cherokee or Jeep Wrangler?
Well, you know what? I'm going to be honest. Safety in numbers. I wasn't listening to the rest of this interview without someone else with me again to finish it the whole way through, like intently listening and taking notes. But his rental car, he called it was a Jeep. He had a Jeep.
Charged at me. I hope it's sliding in the car. My back's giving me issues again. Everything's in the disarray.
Is that the tablet up underneath that folder?
Yeah. Goes to tell you I'm not awake. He has a lot of pictures of me. I have a lot of pictures of him. I can't look at these pictures sometimes. I'm sorry. I got people.
And what was the argument about that?
Mainly, I did go on and I was just talking to him because I was saying do the fire. These are mainly of him that he sent me. These are mainly of him. These two are me, but he has a lot of pictures of me, and I have a lot of pictures of him.
Let me see.
Yes, sir. The phone that he has is the phone of my service.
Let me ask you this: so, is the phone in your name?
Yeah, it's fine. It's the phone I got him. It's
okay, so you bought him the phone?
Well, the phone originally that the car accident I was in, my phone was damaged. They took the phone. They gave me a different phone, and because he was getting very bad service, and he's been harassed in this town. They've been messing with his lugs on the car. They've been screwing with his battery.
And when you say they, who are you talking about?
I don't know. The only one that he told me that he made it very clear to me, the guy with the tattoo. Darn it. And I was looking because I threw all my cases out. There's you guys probably don't know, some of you know Guns N' Roses. You know Guns N' Roses got the
this
skull
is my other
tattoo,
favorite part.
and then underneath they got the 2 cigarettes and it says Guns N' Roses. Well, it doesn't.
I'm sorry.
You know,
What?
for the record, we've typed this all out. Just so y'all know so far. Like I could. It's so much more. It's safety and numbers.
Well, hold on.
Don't listen
Let's
to the
show
language.
people like actually what it looks
Doesn't say
like.
Guns N' Roses.
I got to go back because I don't know how I'm not sure where Axl Rose came from in this whole.
Because basically what he's saying is one of the guys that was apparently harassing Steven had a similar tattoo, but it either had the cigarettes or didn't have the cigarettes. If you'll check our spreadsheet or.
Here's where the transcripts are. Just so you guys know. Can you see that?
And my favorite part is how, by the way, YouTube thinks Walterboro is Baltimore. So anytime you see Baltimore, that's Walterboro.
Walterboro. Yeah, please. Oh, thanks, Allie. That's very kind. Okay.
The guy with the tattoo. Darn it. And I was looking for, because I threw all my cases out. There's you guys probably don't know, some of you know, Guns N' Roses. You know Guns N' Roses got the skull tattoo, and then underneath they got the 2 cigarettes and it says Guns N' Roses. Well, it doesn't say Guns N' Roses, but it's got the 2 cigarettes. I had to remember the tattoo. And that's basically the tattoo that this guy's got, but no, and it's big. It's bigger, but I can't remember where he said it was on the body. He told me that night that he hurt his ankle that we were on Hilton Head Beach. He told me what the tattoo was.
Okay. Let's get back to the argument. When's the last time you argued with him?
I know I was a little upset that he wasn't answering me, but I think it was mainly because
was that earlier in the night?
No, that was Thursday. That was I think Wednesday or Thursday.
Were you arguing prior to that? Have y'all been arguing prior to that?
I wouldn't say an argument. It was just I seen his Craigslist, and it was mainly what it was he put it up there to show me, his pictures and stuff that I seen, and I told him I wasn't seeing anybody. I was just texting, going back and forth. He says, there's a lot of Craigslist on there. I said, they're not mine. I said, the last Craigslist I posted was a while back. And I said, somebody's screwing around with my Craigslist. I said, because they should all be down. I said, I killed all my stuff once we got serious about it. We were going to get married. I said, if it's still up there, I don't even have the passwords to get in to post anything.
Let me ask you this. Do you do drugs?
I used to. I'm a recovering addict.
What kind of drugs did you use?
LSD, acid. I pop a lot of pills.
Right. What about Steven? Did he do any type of drugs around you?
He never did it around me, but I know he smoked weed.
I'm sorry. What kind of drugs do you? LSD, acid, like the worst things on the planet. And then make sure you take that Seroquel, buddy, because holy sheep shit. Oh, sorry. No disrespect to anybody. If this is what happens after long-term acid use.
We were going to get married. I said, if it's still up there, I don't even have the
Imagine me doing this by myself. Don't need the thoughts going through my head.
I used to. I'm a recovering addict.
What kind of drugs did you use?
LSD, acid. I pop a lot of pain pills.
All right. What about Steven? Did he do any type of drugs around you?
He never did it around me, but I know he smoked weed.
Okay.
I know he smoked it because of anxiety, and I smoke weed too, but I haven't smoked it in a while.
Okay.
I'm December 5th, January 5th, February 5th.
So now we're going to count the months. We go all the way to like July. It's going to be 7 months.
7 months. Clean up recently.
Well, let me ask you this. Now, all these phone calls that you're saying that you're getting, what are they saying? Besides that, the same thing will happen to you. Is it a male's voice? White, black, Hispanic?
The girls are white. The males, I don't know if they're.
Are they giving you with a groove? What are they saying?
There's the guys the one girl, you could hear kids in the background. You could hear there's stuff going on in the background, but the voice is muffled. But you could tell it's a woman.
Have you got any recorded?
I'm still trying to figure out how to record
while
you're on the phone. That's what I've been
trying. Left you any recorded messages on your voice?
No, but I could check that. That was something that I needed to check because
he's got to learn how to do it.
Start eating whatever on the rug, please. I don't have any money to take you to the vet. Believe me.
Told you, no money to go to the vet. I'm assuming he doesn't have much upholstered furniture in the house either.
Actually, I just got a really sick feeling in my stomach at the dog's name. I'm so sorry. I just
Lolly,
my mind
don't go. Oh, you're gonna say that.
my mind went there, and I was just like, "Oh God." I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm so sorry.
He said, okay, so the girls, in quote unquote, he thinks the girls are white. The girls are white. The
Where are
boys.
the girls from, though? What are we talking about with the girls?
We don't. I don't. Apparently, this group turns into somehow like a group message. Y'all just get ready. It gets really exciting.
I am
We're
ready.
not even.
I'm strapped
We're
in.
nowhere near the good part.
On.
This is Act 0.5.
Oh, okay. This sucks.
Should be messages.
This sucks.
The last message was 7/4/2015 from Steven, and I gave him some gas money on the 3rd.
Oh, what? The 4th?
This is the 4th.
Okay.
And he didn't leave anything.
Put on speakerphone.
It is. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't even realize it. Because I know. I'll play it back. I didn't realize it.
I'm not worried about what the I just wanted to
I didn't even remember it was here. So this is something I know I played it. Let me try and do this. Now let's play it.
Oh.
Yeah. Phone service funky. You know how to get that to play
We're
back?
almost to the car part.
Let me see. Scroll back over with your finger. You show that on there?
Huh?
Just press.
That's what I'm saying, huh?
I'm telling you, that's why I don't drive it this way.
No way that gets better. I'm going to hell.
Huh?
That's the phone from Steven?
Yeah, that's the person that was calling me, and I don't know who's calling me from that number. That's the person that called that one time. That's his phone.
Write this down.
Hi, this is Elaine. I'm returning your call. I wrote you call last night. Can we call back, please? Message.
This number has called you several times.
Yeah, they called, and that was that. Originally, it comes up. Is that where it says boyfriend?
No.
All right, no, you gotta hit boyfriend. That the boyfriend is the one,
Okay.
not that one.
All right.
Sorry.
Don't make me go on camera because I
So he doesn't
can't.
say anything?
Mm-mm.
That's another night that I don't. What? Look at what the 4th was.
Doesn't matter.
That was the night that I got a call from him. He was out at the boat landing. That's why I went to.
Bobcat Lennon and Bamberg.
That's why. If that's. Can I see the phone?
Mm-hmm.
That's the night that I did get. Let me see something. Because if that's the night. That's the night I believe. Yep, it's a Saturday night. That's the night that he was at the boat landing that he came here. And
Let
he
me
didn't
ask
come here till
you
late.
this question. Have you and Steven ever been out together and been threatened by anybody?
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Have you ever threatened Steven with any harm?
No.
Have y'all ever had any physical fight?
No.
Just a normal argument?
It was just over. Well, the thing that happened was I'm 47 years old. Steven works a lot. Steven works a lot and goes to school. And mainly why that was put up there, and he made it very clear to me, because he's working going to school, and he's seen my pictures. I'm telling you, them pictures I did not put up. So I've seen his pictures up there. I was
Listen,
living
the
after
pictures
fire
are a
was
big
live.
issue. These are a big issue. Let me. You want me to?
We should do a stream. Listen to this and try to write down.
I'll do it. I've been out. He's outsmarted me. I thought one thing, and I was close, but he wouldn't. He threw me and went through totally. I had to slow it down to like 0.75 to be like, what did you just say to me? Like, we were in a silver Lincoln 2 seconds ago. Now I'm at a crossroads buying you a Hershey bar when there's. Back when gas was under $3.50, and then my phone broke, so I do pay for his service.
Take on that thing. Secondly, that's 1 gallon. A gallon. I bought 8 gallons. Just one of gas, and it didn't. It wasn't enough. I'm sorry. This is not funny at all. I know. I'm so sorry.
No, it can it just be? Can it just be a little funny right now?
Oh, it's bringing me to tears. I don't mean to laugh. I'm really laughing at this guy. I'm not laughing at the circumstance, I swear. He jumps from the $4 gas to axle roasted. This is the most random thing ever. I'm so sorry, you guys. To get my shit together. I can't listen to him. It's comic relief for me. I hope this guy didn't do it. I really do. I don't think he did. I hope he didn't. I really hope he didn't. Okay, I got it. I got it together now. I'm sorry.
No, you don't. Keep going, though.
I do. I really do.
Because you're like, if you keep laughing this way, you're going to get me to go on the computer and turn my camera on and then watch my facial
I don't have it
expressions.
Craigslist.
I mean, but how was it listed? You had to see him.
I don't remember because it's
Is he using an alias name or is it?
He ain't using nothing. It was something. I don't remember because the phone and the tablet that he has, and I tried.
He's getting.
If I tagged it in my pictures.
Does the sister still have the tablet?
The sister has the tablet, and that's what that. Let me show you something. Can you come over here?
That
I
tablet
said to
has
everybody,
everything on it.
Why I'm getting calls from Steven? Let me show you something. And I'm gonna make a point to you. And one of the cops told me no, bull donkey. I'm gonna prove. I don't know how you could do it, but how do I text myself? Because if somebody let me see something. I'm gonna make a call real quick.
Let me see.
Who am I calling?
No, you're not.
I'm gonna call myself.
I know I don't go out.
No, you're not.
No.
You're gonna try. It's not gonna work out. I can assure you. No, Steven didn't just call you. This is his cousin or someone else who may need to go to work. It could be the vet.
Who are we calling?
Hey, Bubba. Text me so I can.
It sounds like he's on hold with Walgreens.
Okay, because we got a lot going on with this. People texting me and calling me. Just text me and say, hey, I got to show them that the way this is set up on the tablets and phones, that they go into both systems.
Listen, I'm doing something on the phone right now because I got to get back to the office for some food boxes and stuff. I'm doing something on the phone right now.
All right. Let me figure out how to get this done.
He puts it on speakerphone.
Did that guy just say I'm doing something on the phone right now?
Shaking a going like, really, am I high or is he just really high? Who knows? He's fucking with my dosage. Like I don't even know. Like I
can't text you right now. I'm talking on the phone.
Oh, by the way, a big thing he is working on. Wait a minute, though. Hold on. I need y'all all to know a big thing that he was working on. Unfortunately, not at the time that he would have needed it to provide it to law enforcement. But he was learning how to record stuff, aka either screen record or something on a call. So again, he's going to give an explanation in about 17 minutes again about.
I don't know if I'm just going to tell you. I don't know if I have 17 minutes in me with this guy.
I'm just telling y'all. He's going to tell him again. He says, I know. I know I need to learn. And I've been working on learning how to do it. And they're like, that's amazing. Could you do it in 2015? And he's like, no.
Hold on.
Basically.
Let me get back to this.
That's fine. You don't have to, because I'm imagining we'll be talking with you again. Let me ask you this question. You willing to take a lie detector test saying you don't know anything about his death or had anything to do with that death?
I know a lot about what.
I didn't ask you that. Are you willing to?
I'm willing to take a lie detector test. This is what I'm trying to show you. The texts that go to my phone go to that. That's why that tablet is proven to everything. Now, what I know is I feel that the escort agency has something to do with this.
So you're signed into cloud.
That's why we use the phone and the tablet. Because he told me when he came Saturday, end quote, that when he came that I was going to have to get waxed down everything and look like a boy, and it was going to be. And I said I'm not comfortable with father-son deal.
And this is where I was like, I need a. Where's my exit, buddy? I was like, I don't hear about it.
That I don't know because I only learned about this a couple of weeks ago. I don't have information on what escort agency where it is.
Hold on a second. I need somebody to time shit out for me and explain to me on a linear time chart how the hell we got from I'm in my Texas, and it goes to the tablet because
but the tablet's in the Lincoln. But yeah, and then he got waxed, and then his tablet was in the Lincoln, and then he doesn't have an OtterBox. So, but that phone he got was Verizon, and hold on, Lollipop, I can't. Don't be eating that off the rug. I can't take you to the vet.
Way back
I don't got money.
And he said it ain't that one.
Well, let me ask you this: you say you work for an escort agency. And I'm not. Don't try to read in the question. Did you ever give him any idea about trying to work into an escort agency?
No.
Did you talk to him about how an escort agency worked?
No, because he already knew.
Okay. Who, other than you, who else would he may have been seeing?
That's a good question, because according to the sister, he's been seeing other guys, and the father passed a comment when he was walking out. He may be using them for money, and I didn't have the money for him to be using me.
Let me ask you this: have you ever seen him with anybody else?
No, I haven't.
How long have y'all been together?
His birthday is the 29th of January.
Oh wait, this is good.
He was shaking his booty at the club, and he wasn't even 18. So that's probably why that club was closed. Because his birthday is the 29th, and
what I'm saying, how long have y'all been together?
Well, that's what I'm saying. He was shaking his butt at the club, dancing at the club. I want to say the 26th, 27th.
Which club is this?
It's been closed up. It was in Charleston.
You know the name of it?
I don't remember the name of it. I went there with a friend, and that's when we first met.
So you met him back in January, basically.
When he supposedly was 18, but his birthday is not until the 19th.
Right.
29th, I mean.
So you met him.
This is
he wasn't even 18, but we didn't do anything because he had to leave.
Okay. When did you
1.25. Let's entertain ourselves and put it on 1.5, shall we?
Like around my birthday.
Yeah, because it's fun when he talks really fast.
Y'all been each other on a regular basis since April. Really.
Well, it's been regular, but I didn't get the car. He went to come to me, or I could get anywhere down here. I could get a friend to bring me down towards this area.
How many arguments have y'all ever had?
I say just the one.
And that was just prior to his death, right? That was over the Craigslist.
It wasn't really an argument.
It was a disagreement.
It was a disagreement. I wouldn't say we fought. I was mainly upset because of the thing, but we weren't like threatening each other. I mean, it wasn't a threat. It wasn't a threat.
That's not the question I'm asking.
Threatening me?
But I'm making it clear. It wasn't. There weren't threats. We were both upset too. Why the pictures are getting put up? Why? And me seeing it. I mean, to be honest with you, when I seen pictures that I've never seen, I was down on my hands and knees crying.
Let me ask you this next question.
Yeah,
when the phone call dropped and he was walking, did you ever make a comment or ask him, "Do you want me to come get you"?
I couldn't come get him, and that was what I was saying.
Why couldn't you come get him?
I didn't have enough gas, and he didn't want me to come with the gas that was in the car. I didn't have gas.
Okay. After that, after you dropped the phone, the last text or the last phone call, what was the last thing y'all said to one another?
The last thing he said is, "I'm on my way." The text, I'm not sure which one came. I believe it said I'm 30, 40 minutes away.
Did you text him back and say anything?
I believe I did, but I don't.
Okay. What did you say to him?
I don't remember. That's what I'm telling you. Seroquel was already in my body at that point. It was impossible for me to go anywhere. He knew that.
We gotta get some Seroquel. I gotta test this out.
The fact that Seroquel was.
I want to test this because I'm starting to wonder. Like, I'll give it a whirl. I've heard about that butterfly that comes to visit you on Lunesta, but I don't want this man visiting me on Seroquel. But I thought, is it just for sleep? Can I say something without going to HE double hockey sticks right now? Because I'm not sure that I can.
If this is the thing that sends you to hell, we are in good shape. Say what you will.
I'm trying to look for. Wait, I'm looking at where to go. Big Heart. Where's the? Okay, he did. By the way, y'all. So his last message that he said that he got from Steven. So he's literally has his phone out with him as they're doing this. So they do look at it, and the last message he got, the last message from Steven Smith was on July 4th, and then he proceeds to say, "And I gave him some gas money on the 3rd." But yeah, they were meeting up and getting married by
Thursday.
By the Thursday, but not the Thursday before he handed in the rental car. No, that Tuesday, the Tuesday after that other Thursday, that day.
Butterfly kisses. I am not helping your anxiety with my hysterical laughter. I'm sure of that. So I'm really sorry. I'll try and get my shit together. I've said that twice. It ain't gonna happen now, but I'm sorry. But that just sucks. I just can't believe.
I just like it that they stop him in they stop him in the middle of everything. Let me ask you something. You do drugs? Like they're 13 minutes in and they're like, please tell me. Do you please say that you do drugs? Do you do drugs? Because we've been here for 20 minutes. We've been here for 20 minutes. And we no longer want our jobs anymore.
I do have a valid question, or at least I hope it's valid at this point. I'm not sure it is. I have to be real with you. But what? So he's saying he texted Steven. He's saying
in his texts.
His texts is with Steven. But why isn't he showing the texts?
Well, I think he is to them. Well, here's the thing. One of the issues is a charger is in the silver Lincoln for his tablet that he's been trying to find. And so he was trying to bring it up on that, but he can't. He thinks it's in his Lincoln. But then obviously he has a phone because he takes a plethora of calls on it during the fucking interview. And so I think he did because he couldn't get it to like open right or charge it. Remember how those other people were like, oh, I can't find the charger. He did the same kind of thing. There's a charger in a silver Lincoln somewhere. But again, this won't be fact until we play the game that will be or whoever suggested it.
And yes, we are playing that game.
And we all have to write it down because I'm telling you, there's something about it. It goes from the tablet, like trying to get the messages and figuring out how to do it. And it goes from in that middle of a sentence, but I live at, and I don't know where my chart, and I think it's in the Lincoln, but I can't. Have you seen my Lincoln? This is
with the tattoo. I'm still stuck. I don't know who we're talking about has a tattoo as large Guns N' Roses tattoo, but it's not actually Guns N' Roses. It's just the cigarette.
But it's just the cigarette. But that's describing him when the text says that that I think that's someone this guy that apparently was a fan almost of Guns N' Roses had a tattoo.
This guy has been seeing off and on his future fiance, right?
They were. It's so funny the way he words that. He goes, we're getting married, or we were gonna get married. Wait, I'm looking at. Oh, this is so
again,
good.
all for this, except
by the way,
this guy.
But here's the thing: I had to set my word when I was typing all this out. Word instead of ignore all. I was like, effing learn it. Texas like the tech because like I have a very like Eastern Atlantic Coast vocab now on my like Microsoft Word. We've added a lot of things to the dictionary. Like everything is in there because I was tired of having to like just click it to be like ignore it, and I was like, just learn it, people. So,
all right, I'm gonna turn him back on here
but the guy with the tattoo is apparently someone who was harassing.
Wait a minute, I want to get. He was not normal.
And when you say not normal, what do you mean by not normal?
He sounded like he was drunk. He doesn't take drugs. He doesn't drink other than smoke weed. He sounded like he was on something. He played it off to me on the call that I was talking to him a little bit earlier before, all this that he said to me, end quote, I'm tired. I've been at school and work and I'm tired. And I says, I believe I said to him, it doesn't sound like tired. And he says, Mark, I'm just tired. Okay. I believe if he was drugged and he came here, the house in the back, I don't know if this yellow car, the windows are tinted dark, but there's a yellow car that comes in that goes to the back on the back.
And what's that got to do with this?
Did he say fat people in the back?
The yellow car that supposedly the sister says he was driving, windows are tinted, then he has been in here to the back.
But as of, he's never been here though.
He's been here, yes, he's been here.
But what's the reason for the yellow car?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. If that's the car that I'm thinking, because I've only seen that car once that I've seen it. When he came here, I didn't see the car. Okay. I mean, I don't know what car he came in. I assumed even on that date that I went to the house, he was still, because one of the texts and one of the calls that we talked, I asked him, did you get, because he came out to when I was staying at Red Group Inn, he came out in the Ford. That was one of the last times I seen him before I went to Larry. And all that stuff coming down with that little disagreement was when I was at Larry's.
Who the fuck is Larry?
And I'm telling you, the shit that's going on is off that tablet. That's why I wanted to show you that, because you can route the phone calls through the tablet and it can still come up as number.
Well, Mark, let me ask you this. I got some other questions later on. You willing to come in?
I'm willing to do whatever you want. I just can't drive right now.
I'm not asking that right now.
Whatever you want me to bend over backwards, you want me to do whatever you need me to do. I'm telling you, I'm not the one.
Okay.
I don't care what you want me to do.
Okay.
I will do anything you need.
Let me ask you this. Do y'all have any mutual friends that y'all were around?
Yes, there's a couple guys in town.
What are their ages?
One of them, I believe, is 18. A couple of them, one of them was a Wolf.
Did he ever say he was with any of those that night?
He didn't say anything, but the kid that he took to Swisher C. So that's somebody he goes to school with.
Let me start a little timeline here. All right, he died Wednesday morning. Is that correct?
Don't try it, officer.
Tuesday,
investigator. Save your breath.
You think you talked to him around 6 o'clock Tuesday? Whether by text or phone?
We talked all the time. I mean, you're asking questions. You got to remember, I did heavy drugs and stuff. I'm lucky I can remember some things. It's taking me time just to put a timeline together now. I mean, the drugs I'm lucky I can't even, if I don't put something by the door to go out the door, to go do something, I have to come back 20 times to get it. I mean, I'm putting it straight out to you, straightforward. So you're asking me questions. The phone is going to be more answers that could give you than I can give you on when we text. We text. I mean, I'm being straightforward with you. I'm not gonna tell you something and be caught in a lie because I don't remember when we talked, when we didn't. We were talking and texting all the time, sir. So I don't remember time.
We're talking about texting all the time.
We are screwed.
And I'll go ahead and tell you the problem I have with it is you're able to tell me about all this other stuff that went.
But
let me finish. I'm not asking specific questions. I'm asking for a broad. I'm giving you a broad time. I said approximately. I'm not asking you to say 6:01 or 6:10, and I'm asking specific things that he may have said, but you can tell me what somebody said yesterday, calling you and harassing you, and
because certain things stick in my mind. Yeah, we probably did text. Yes, I mean I can tell you we text all the time. If we text, yes, I know we were texting.
Let me go ahead and tell you this. If you know anything,
okay,
let me finish. Whether you had anything to do with,
I just heard that guy go like this. I swear to God, you just heard. Okay. Okay. There might have been.
Jimmy's just like, seriously, he's like, can we be done? I'm pretty sure he had nothing to do with the murder.
Some slight rocking going back and forth from this. Is this Duncan? Is that who did this interview?
Mm-hmm. This is, they took like 3 of them.
I feel like there was a little, okay. Okay. There was a little self-soothing going on there. Sorry. I'm going to go back and play it. I have to hear it again.
I can tell you we text all the time. If we text, yes, I know we were texting.
Let me go ahead and tell you this. If you know anything and you're trying to hide from me, let me finish. Whether you had anything to do with it or not, understand you can be held just as accountable for it. I mean, if it's somebody you know, some information.
The only thing that I know is when the time that before the fire, and I said this to the sister, the one thing that was said that when I picked up the check for my deposits to the landlord, he outside his church, he says, you and Steven are going to burn in hell for being in a gay relationship, and it's sex. Either one of you or both of you. That's the only thing. And that night that we were either going to the beach or coming, that we stopped at a gas station, and he was the one just getting in the car, Mark, don't engage with him. It's not fucking worth it. We were at, I think it was the Shell going towards.
What night was it?
It was a Friday night, but I don't remember the date.
Friday night before 4th of July?
Yeah, it was way before the 4th of July. It was the weekend of the fire, and I don't remember what weekend with everything going on.
But you keep talking about this fire. What kind of fire?
It was electrical fire because me and Steven went over to the guy to talk about him working on the house.
Why you where? What
Is your previous residence?
Yes, there was the guy was a Mexican. He didn't know what he was doing with construction. There was problems with the other guy putting DFIs in. It rained Sunday morning into Monday morning. I got woken up by my son and the other two kids, and they're saying smoke. The smoke detectors didn't even go off. I guess because of the rain and whatever they were doing. Here, let me show you. The guy was putting these long.
Wait, no, he had two kids? Wait, did he just say he had two kids? I got woken up by my two kids.
No, he said his son.
20 minutes ago, he had a child. He had a child.
No. He said his son and two other kids, which is all the way concerning. All the way concerning.
I know. There's no filter. There's no like PC or like.
Hold on.
Anything on them.
Kids, and they're saying smoke. The smoke detectors didn't even go off. I guess because of the rain and whatever they were doing. Here, let me show you. The guy was putting these long nails through the walls. Okay, actually, I have it better because I printed it. But the fact is,
I've heard of smoke in the water, but not smoke through the walls.
One of the wires went right through where the wire for the dryer is, and that must have set a lot of issues off. And it started a fire in the house. That was 94.
Our ass to get to our elbow on
he threw the dryer?
Because you're asking specific things that I can't give you.
But you can be in detail, but where this nail went, what wire struck, but you can't remember, and this happened
less than a week ago.
Yeah, less than a week ago, and you can't remember last time.
Okay, let me explain it to you. Some of these things I wasn't on.
See, I understood everything that man just said.
Difference that you're asking. When some of these things happen, I wasn't taking my Seroquel. That is the difference that you're asking. The calls and some of the things that he's asking me that night. That's one of the reasons why I couldn't go. You seen when you came in today, up until now. I'm still coming off of it.
Allie.
You could see me when I'm on first thing in the morning. You look at my eyes; they're not bloodshot; they're red from the Seroquel.
So when did you take it?
Look at my eyes; they are not bloodshot.
I can't, because if I look at it,
red.
Wait, what did the nails possibly have to do with the case? Were Stevens maybe they wait a minute.
What does the tattoo have to do with the case? I give up. You tell me. What did
the tattoo I can explain the tattoo thing. The whole tattoo thing is because that's supposed to be one of the people that either, by the way, he doesn't specify, but I've narrowed it down to the gas stations and areas where Steven had apparently had trouble with people harassing him, or as Mark likes to say, at least two rednecks. At one point, we're at the Snyder's Crossroads, one, and then another one's the Bronson Exxon, which
single digit
Steve Smith knew about.
What? Not blood.
But I have a very serious question: is Seroquel only for sleep, or is that for his the schizophrenia
Google.
stuff?
I'm not going there. I don't know.
All right, I'm looking. I'm literally I'm looking it up.
A lot of drugs.
Because I was about to type in chat and go like, I don't know, try Ambien. I feel like this one isn't working for you. But I don't want to be
I don't know. His eyes aren't bloodshot. They are just red.
All right. Seroquel.
Quell. When you took that Tuesday? You took that Tuesday night?
Tuesday.
When Steven called you?
I took it way before that because he has the habit of calling and saying he's going to come, and he can't come because then he's got to go do something else.
Sedative.
So basically what you're saying, so you know, so what you're going to be telling us now?
I can't even spell the damn thing.
They're going to tell you what it is.
But you say that you can't remember.
I took it about 1 o'clock. It takes an hour or so before it really, or 2 hours or 3 hours before it starts working. Before I totally go out, you're looking at about 4 hours. And then at that point, I'm out for a while. If there's a fire in here, if that fire would have happened when I took my medicine when the kids started going to sleep at 10 o'clock, by 1 o'clock, if that fire would have happened between 1 and say 4 in the morning, we would all burn in hell. Because I cannot physically, I can hear what goes on, whether or not I can't physically get up.
Wheel says you can't.
The body is like,
look,
you're making a face.
Yes, I am. I mean, because all this stuff that you're telling me is.
Talk to my doctor and you talk.
Well, I don't need to talk to you, doctor. I'm talking to you. I mean, you can recall so much from everything else, even when you take your medicine. And then you're telling me now because we give you like a little bit of timeline, you say you take it at 1 o'clock, and it takes 1 hour, or maybe 2, or maybe 3.
It depends on what medicine I'm taking.
Okay,
I mean, I take
Seroquel is
multiple
used
parts.
off-label.
Listen, if you're trying to run the phone records, it's going to tell you.
It's for
Take the phone. I'm not going to be ridiculed. I'm not going to be ridiculed. I already got the mother telling me and making accusations.
And nobody here has made no accusations. The problem I have with is you're not able to recall things that you say, and that in itself to me is a problem. Okay.
All right, fine. I understand that.
Yes.
But you're saying you're receiving these phone calls from people who are threatening
Jen Lou
from
over
the Cayman
here.
Islands. You're saying that you're receiving them from people around here.
I don't know. Did I say around here? I said that they're saying I'm going to die. They're unavailable numbers. How do I know? You see that the phone says the Cayman Islands. All right, but the ones that are unavailable until phone records are pulled, I don't know where they're coming from.
I will say this. I don't have anything else for you. All right? But I will say, if you want to cooperate, continue to cooperate.
I'm cooperating. But
I'm not saying you're not cooperating. See, you're jumping to accusations just because we're asking.
If I was one of those detectives, I'd be like, "Can I have one of your pills right about now?"
You do have.
My God, I feel terrible for butterfly kisses right now because my anxiety is through the damn roof. Holy Mac and Ernie,
Mac and Ernie or Mac and Roe?
Mac and Ernie. Holy Mac and Ernie. Haven't
Okay.
you ever heard that?
No.
Speed it up again.
So I can understand them.
I know. I'm stuck on the 5-year-old. That is so concerning to me. That is so concerning. There's so many things about this guy that freak me out.
But I don't know. Answer. Wait a second. You say the phone's going to answer, and I'm good with that. All right. But the problem is some of the
Do you understand how many times we text?
Doesn't matter. Okay, let me ask you this. I can tell you right now. I can tell you what my wife or anybody. I text a lot with my wife and my daughter, and I can pretty much tell you. I can't tell you every word that they say, but I can give you the gist of the conversation.
And I can give you that, but
that's all I'm asking. I'm not asking, and I told you this from the beginning. I'm not asking for specifics. I'm just asking to be general. I come in here telling
He's
you
asking to go home.
I'm not asking you.
A lot of the texts are what we're going to do, or can he come by, or do you want me to meet you? One of the texts, and I don't remember exactly whether it was Wednesday night, but I know Tuesday or Monday night, I did text him, and he was coming from school, or was supposed to be. Do you want me to cook you something?
That's all I'm asking for. One of the things I'm asking for on some of these texts, did he say anything while he was walking? Like, there's something suspicious.
He never said he was walking. Now, I said to you, I asked because I heard the tires. Are you walking? His answer to me was no.
Okay. Did he ever say anything suspicious was happening to him? Or
that night?
Yes.
He did say that he felt he was being followed.
Okay. And did he give you any indication? I'm not, like I said, this is generic. I don't expect.
Well, if you ask specific questions, I'm going to give you what I know.
I have been asking you the same questions I'm asking you now.
Can I do something?
Oh, wait. Phone call. Hold on, guys. Craigslist popping up.
Listen, this guy gets more calls than a telemarketer.
I think I'm starting to think that he really does still have his Craigslist passwords, because I'm a little concerned about what all these are either Walgreens leaving messages, your script is ready for pickup, a doctor's office calling to confirm his follow-up appointment, or Craigslist has some people.
I get the Mexican on nails. Is that the guy with the tattoo? Because I'm still stuck on the tattoo. Not Guns N' Roses, just
I'm back at the Mexican who used long nails but was muffled in the background, and then there was a fire. And if I hadn't have taken my med between 1 and 5 a.m.
I hope we're helping, Allie. I really don't intend to make your anxiety worse. I really don't, but I know this is a tough one. I need a joy.
Allie, safety in numbers, at least. Believe me, this is more therapeutic to me. I've done 2 days, and I'm like 24 minutes in total, because it's taken me 19 hours to, like, not only that, I was like, I kind of like what they just said. Like, I was stuck on the tattoo thing going, wait, you guys know music? Do you know guns? You know music, like Guns and you know that tattoo?
I know that sometimes I get squirrely. There's no doubt. I say it all the time, like, hey, squirrel, But
he's a squirrel seeing another squirrel. That's a squirrel seeing another one.
To follow this fucker. I really do. I need Google Maps.
I just went to Ron White going, squirrels, world's shittiest critical thinkers.
Honest to God, this guy is warped. Amen. Sweet Jesus is right. Sweet baby.
But
Fred.
see, but the weirdest thing is the specifics. Like, that's where I was like, with Peterson, I do agree that, like, the stuff about, like, hearing the tires, him walking, him being, like, the call dropping.
Specific.
That's oddly specific and since it ironically, like, very sensible and actually logical toward, like, in relation to other, other things that have been said, like hearing this car. I heard a car, the phone would drop, and then I never heard back from him. But then we were dating and getting married at the gas station. I got a Hershey bar, but then,
yellow car, but I've never seen it. It doesn't. He was here. I saw it, I think, but I drive a Lincoln. It's silver. I can fit the other car in my trunk.
That's literally when he was like, in the yellow car. He's like, what about the yellow car? It's like, it fit in the silver Lincoln's trunk.
I'm gonna play it for a couple more minutes, and then we're gonna end it, because we're gonna end it on a positive note, and we're just gonna say our prayers for Steven, and we're also gonna say our prayers for Corporal Duncan here, who had to sit through this. Lord have mercy.
All right. The thing I'm asking is, when he said that he felt like he was being followed, did he say, there's a car following me, or I was in a restaurant, or I was at the gas station?
They said he was up there, but he was up at that blinking light up there. He said to me. His family said he was up at the Exxon. He said he was up, and I can't remember. If you go out, like you're going out to Walterboro, sir, there's a 4-way blinking light, and there's a store right to the right.
Snyder's Crossroads.
Oh, see, I don't know where, but he said he was out there. They said he got cigarettes at Exxon.
Now, let me ask you this. Is that where he said he felt like he was being followed at?
Yes, he said that he was being harassed at that store.
By who?
He didn't say. He said it was a couple of guys in the pickup truck. If I recall correctly, he said they were rednecks. But I know.
Did he ever give you a description of the pickup truck? He may or may not.
He said it was big and it was tall. He didn't give me a description with the mud tires. But the last time we talked that night, before the phone went down, and I said to him, "Are you walking or not?" I called him back. Or was that before? I know at one point I heard mud tires. I heard big mud tires. Big mud tires. And
in other words, when you say you hear
in the background,
you hear him whining, is what you're trying to say? Like,
yeah, I hear the mud tires like they're coming towards him or going past him, because they sounded loud. That they were getting louder. And that, I believe, was the last time.
He was probably watching a movie.
What are you doing? You asked him what he was doing?
At one point, yes, I did. He said he was coming to me.
No, when you heard those mud tires, you didn't ask him.
I was going because first I heard a semi, then I heard the mud tires. Right after all that, it went down. The phone went on me.
So he has on speakerphone?
I don't think so.
So you can hear mud tires.
I don't know what he did.
Now I'm asking you, can you hear mud tires right on the phone while you're walking down the highway?
I guess. I mean, I don't know, because I know if I'm walking, you can hear a lot on the phone. It depends on how we have the phone turned
up. If you're on speakerphone, yeah, but if you ain't on speakerphone, how can you hear?
Well, then I guess it's on speakerphone, but I know I can't. You could hear certain things when I'm walking.
How do you know there was mud tires?
By the sound of them. They say, you know, like a big truck.
Let me repeat something that I say often, just in case this ever happens to you. God forbid it happens to you. If you learn nothing from Decipher podcast, write this down. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Invoke those rights before you do anything else. Don't even say hello, how are you? Just listen to me talking to you right now.
Yeah, but I understand that. But then it goes into, like, you have the right to remain silent, but you don't have the ability. You don't have the ability to remain silent. Like, this is where, and then the biggest bitch of this all is what Peterson said. There are aspects of this thing that you're like, well, damn, he did. Like, I could, at least we know there are some messages. I do believe they saw some, and some of the stuff makes sense, but you have to go through Oz to effing find it.
Oh my God. Butterfly kisses. I'm sending you my love, and we'll be praying between now and the 8th for you. And I hope you're okay. That's really tough. I'm sending you our love. Sorry.
With big tires, you could hear your.
And how about the semi?
The semi, you could hear it with a big truck.
Now, I know there was more tires.
By the sound of them. They you know like a big truck
That's not how
with big
big
tires, you
tires
could hear
sound.
your.
And how about the semi?
No,
The semi, you could hear it with a semi. My uncle drove semis. You could hear your.
And how about
They you know like a big truck with big tires, you could hear your. Things when I'm walking.
now, I know there was more tires.
By the sound of them.
because they went.
You know like a
You
big
said it
truck
3
with
times.
big tires, you could hear your.
And how about the semi?
The semi, you could hear it with a semi. My uncle drove semis.
So you get with the semi, then the.
I could identify the 2 different vehicles, yes.
You don't remember about what time that was? I'm not asking you specific.
If you give me a minute, I'm trying to put. That was
He
a
needs a
little bit
minute
before.
because of the Seroquel. Because of the Seroquel, he needs a minute.
And the pool before that, I heard a lot of dogs in the background, like barking. And I don't know where he was at that point, but
You know where you
them
are?
tires. That's why I went out to the scene. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to see because the semi was the first one, and then
You went to the scene?
I went to the scene because I went out to the house because he also told me
What time did you go to the scene?
the day after the wake.
Or the day after the week?
Because I didn't even know. I didn't know until my friends started telling me you're talking about Steven Smith. I didn't even know he had passed away or he was hit. I didn't know nothing about this until I was going
I
to go to
wonder
NA.
if this man knows about
And my
Melissa
friend gave me
J's
gas to go, and I
Trivia
drove right by the
Tuesdays.
wake. And that's when I drove by, and she asked me again, "You're talking about Steven Smith, 19 years old." That's when I learned this happened.
Okay. Steven had an alias name, Brian. You ever know him about using that?
Yeah, but
He had several.
That's a killer. I heard about that. That's something he uses. Brian. It ain't just Brian he uses. Brian. Is it Brian?
He's right
Brian
about that
something was
in more
something he
than
used.
one.
Now that you mention it, that jogs a memory. Brian. It wasn't just Brian he used on.
Is that the alias name he used for the sex chat rooms and
Craigslist?
Craigslist?
Not the Craigslist, but I don't know about sex chats, but I know about escort agents. But it wasn't just Brian. I gotta really think about that one. There was something else. Brian.
I bet it's Lollipop.
Brian something, but it wasn't just Brian. Brian wasn't Brian Brown, but it was. There was something else added to that to use for the.
Did he say Brian Brown
What's the
knows?
escort agency you have it for?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was gonna get that. It's Ashley's escort agency.
Ashley, where at?
She's at Hilton Head.
And Hilton Head?
Yeah. See.
That's the first time he hasn't said Hilton Head Beach. Otherwise, he always says he has to say Hilton Head Beach. I'm like, it's just Hilton Head.
Craigslist?
Craigslist? Not the Craigslist, but I don't know about sex chats, but I know about escort agency. But it wasn't just Brian.
Why the
I
hell
gotta
is?
really think
Hold
about
on
that
a second.
There was something else, Brian. I want to say. Brian.
Excuse me, night bitch, but
What?
what are you thinking? Talking to our friend and me like this. I will pull Nightbot in a second. You are not on the naughty list. I don't know what the hell.
As always, such a pleasure to see you, Nightbot. Thanks for being here.
Oh, she was timed out? Oh, no, hold please. Oh, can I do anything about that?
I don't know. I'm literally, when I tell you I'm like tangled up in wires right now, I'm legit not. I just pulled the computer cord, but somehow. Hold on. I'm getting a Hershey bar.
I'm really sorry about that.
I'm looking. Hold on. I'm trying to help. 1 second. Oh.
Brian. Yeah, Brian.
For 5 seconds. Okay.
Brian.
So sorry.
It wasn't Brian Brown, but there was something else.
Brian Brown knows.
For the escort
I thought you
agency.
said Brown.
What's the escort agency you have it for?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was gonna get that. It's Ashley's escort agency.
Ashley, where at?
She's at Hilton Head.
And Hilton Head?
Yeah.
She's out of Hilton Head. Let's look her up.
I don't know which one he was using, but I know we were supposed to go do something this Saturday, and it was supposed to be the whole weekend. He was going to take off school and everything.
I would probably say,
if it has to do with anything, but what I'm going to tell you is what I know, and I know enough of enough. His sister, when it was like he was going to do anything, like I showed one of the officers, like if you go on Craigslist and you just go out, clear out, like if you're an officer and you're talking to me, and I say I need money to perform a service, that's an automatic go to jail card. An automatic. Yeah, there's a lot of noises that drive me nuts around here right now. I go to.
What? What? I agree. It has yielded nothing but comic relief for me. Oh, good. Okay, good. We'll talk to you tomorrow, Allie. Have a great night. And I'm so sorry if we didn't help your anxiety at all. I really am. I'm gonna stop that interview right now because I can't.
You gotta take your Seroquel.
I no, but I'm gonna drop some acid and smoke a joint. I gotta call Corporal Duncan over here. I gotta make sure I'm ready for the call.
Or ask and be like, what else did y'all find in that medicine cabinet when you did? Like, how many times do you think they were like, hold, do you have a bathroom we can use real fast?
Oh, like, are you kidding? I would be, first of all, the interview would be outside. The dog named Lollipop freaks me out. Kids around him freak me out. Listen to some GNR.
Wait a minute. Here's another thing we need to look up. I'm on the naughty
list now.
Here's something. Hold on. LFT is going back to serious mode. What we need to look up, though, he was apparently in some sort of car accident. I'm assuming in the silver Lincoln because he just got it back by the time he's doing this interview because he goes the one outside right now and he's like, yeah. We need to see if there's any accident reports in terms of, I just want to see, his car and the timing of it. But there's also something about the time that he arrived around Hampton, South Carolina, because at the time, I believe he was renting, but he was hoping to make it permanent. But we all know, within, 9 months, he's in Florida. And so we've just wanted to kind of avoid it. Like, I'm not doing it by myself. If we're looking, we're not flipping a coin to see who gets to look into him. It's either to get if you jump ship, I will motor right past you and just leave you. We either do it together and go down the Big Heart.
I will be happy to look up car accidents involving Mark Bighart and
He says he's a walking accident.
He is a walking accident. He said, name 5 drugs in 3 seconds. It was Mark Bighart.
But he did the best is like so that's like when the interview starts because they're even trying to figure out like
this guy
do you live here permanently or like is this your is this the only car you had registered? And it's so weird how he answers certain stuff. But the big thing is I think when I said it was kind of like a nomad, he really is a little bit nomadic. But I want to see.
Oh wait, have you not seen this fella, Glenjamin?
Oh, and y'all can go look at his Facebook stuff. He did stuff about like Steven, and he would change the dates. He would make it retroactive. So something that happened in like May, he would change it to June and weird stuff. But he would go on rants, like he would be really mad at Steven 1 minute, and then not so mad, and then apparently married.
I'll show you this one really quick.
You need a picture of him?
Yeah, I got one. Risk. I'm going to tell you what I think in 1 second because I agree with you. But let me. Holy macaroni! I need
swipe left.
Whew. This is what he looks like. He's in Low Country. Is it Low Country he's in, or the other one?
I don't think he's actually in any of he's referenced.
Yes, he is. I am almost positive.
Then I am pretty sure that my mind protected myself. It protected itself and blocked it out because I don't remember actually seeing him. I remember his voice.
Yeah, there he is. Oh, and bless little Steven right next to him. Okay, so Risk, and I'm going to take this local jokel off. I agree with you. And I think Patrick and Sean had something to do with it. I think that I said last night, my theory, my working theory, and it's still working, is that I haven't figured out the car situation yet with Steven and his car and why he was walking. I don't know about that yet. I don't have enough to even speculate on that, but I think they rolled up on him. I think somebody got out and hit him. And from what I can see on the crime scene photos, it's what makes the most sense to me. Someone hit him and just went around him and left.
Oh,
hit him with an object, by the way, not a car.
Wait a minute. I'm about to stop y'all all with a mic drop. I've been saving this since last night. I cannot believe, can I interrupt you since I already have?
You just did. I don't have a choice. You just did. That was lollipop.
I still love you. I still love you. Can I keep interrupting for a second?
Yeah. I mean, I was
okay. Remember how we're trying to figure out, like, the thing that's off to us too is his positioning in terms of like being hit by a car, like the way he fell, the way his legs are bent. Okay. Imagine someone that, say some people get you in a car and they're just kind of like just screwing with you, kind of be like just hard on you for a bit, you know, like you're just like, oh, kind of down, and you think you've been put through the ringer. Now imagine they're on that road. Just seriously envision it for a second.
What?
Say two people get out. Just think of the way he fell. Say two people get out and they get him down to his knees. You know what I mean? But they're holding him by the shoulders. And then the third person is right in front of him and turns and looks at him and goes, boom. It just knocks him out with something. He falls backwards.
I think you have too many people there.
All right. I was just thinking out loud.
But
that whole thing of dragging someone out.
Everything you said except the three people. I don't think that I don't even think that there were three people. I think there were two.
But that's what I was just thinking. I was just trying to think in a different way about like the way his knees and stuff are bent. And it's almost like not that, because that big bleed out came from the head, came there. Right. I do believe that. And so I just imagined it. It was almost like if you've got a guy. So yes, in my head, I would say like, say two guys get out and he's on his knees and they're kind of holding him up by his shoulders. And then the third person just goes.
I think they just said, get on your knees, and they whacked him. I think it's, like I said, I go for simpler because why would you have someone stand behind who could possibly get hit by the bat?
Oh, no, not, yeah. Oh, God, no, not behind, just like holding him by the shoulders, and then they kind of let go. And Steven looks up and he goes, and then whoever hits him. Just like imagine, I don't know, whatever. It
could be, let me just explain this. It could be one guy rolls up on him, pulls out whatever weapon he has, says, get on your knees, whack, you're done. Doesn't even have to be two people. Just has to be one with a weapon.
True. I don't know. I was just thinking, like I said, I'm thinking.
I mean, I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with what you're saying, but I can narrow it down even further to even one. I still think it's two. Personally, I think it's two. I don't think it's three. I think it's two. And the only reason I don't think it's three is because two people have a hard enough time keeping a secret. Three people, no freaking way. No way.
Apparently, they don't have that hard of a time keeping a secret.
Well, they get help with law enforcement around there. That's the damn truth. It'll be interesting to see if there are damage to the back of his head. Yeah, it will be interesting. And if you have seen the pictures and they are out there, I tried to put them in the group and Facebook said, nuh-uh. Somebody instructed me on how to do it, and
they're everywhere. Like you can
Google them if you really need to see them. They're rough. But if you want to look at it with the perspective of look at how his body is placed, how his shoes are, how his feet are, how his knees are bent, where LFT is saying he could have been on his knees, I totally can understand that. I can appreciate that.
I just envision, I can't even think of like an old, like just say any movie where you see like the guys in the truck rolling up on somebody and then that's what I meant, kind of dragging them out, not dragging them, so, but because there's no scuff marks, there's no nothing. I just mean somewhere,
If they dragged him, there would be scuff marks on his shoes.
Yeah. But so that's what, but like just something enough to like you said, though, it could be one person, it could be two people, whatever. But to get him, I just thought starting, what about if it was just like, which would be scary enough as is to be in the middle of a road and somebody tell you to get on your damn knees, and then not have like he would have no idea what was happening, kind of deal. And then if it was just like you looked up, because then it's just like it's one clean hit to the head and it's done.
Right.
And I think he sat there for a while, and like it's awful. I hate it. Like
I think he bled. I think, like Wheelby said, he bled out. And by the way, shout out to our amazing chat full of gentlemen, which is so cool. By the way, you guys, I always talk about how true crime is like 98% women. In our chat, we have the most men in there, and I freaking love it. I love that you guys come in and straighten us out and laugh with us and give us all the info. And tonight,
apparently, we all live around the same area.
Do you ride the same school bus?
We're all on the same bus, apparently.
Because you're all on the
we
same
probably
grade.
pass each other 14 times a day, or at least on 64 or 95 or 40 somewhere.
Yeah. Back to Steven though. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just can't get behind more people being there because it would be less of a secret. I don't know. I
totally agree. I mean, I'm with you on that. It would be less of it, like the fewer people there, the less of a secret and all that kind of stuff. I get it. But we've gone through like the Mallory Beach, the stuff with like, and you see, it doesn't even matter if it's like necessarily like a secret. There are just some things that you understand. This is how it works, and this is how it works. You know what I mean? Like that's the one place right now I'd be like, I kind of get it. It's not the exception to the rule. Well, actually, it's the exception to your average, if you will. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like there, I think it's been proven. Like look how even SLED reacts when there is a murder on scene, whether it is at a boat incident, at Gloria's side, everything. I mean, the second you hear that, or you become involved with someone very connected or a big name, the behavior, everything changes.
It does. And you're right. But going back to Gloria, everyone was convinced that Paul did something, or, Alec perhaps did something to Gloria. Mm-hmm. And I think we effectively looked into that and proved by looking into it that it really could have been an accident, and that Paul probably wouldn't do anything to hurt her because that was the closest thing he had to a mother.
Nothing. That's where I agree with you 110% in terms of him, like a temper, like never would want to hurt her. Like, and the worst case scenario I could think of, if he got like frustrated and like swung, turned around, like swung his arm and accidentally did it, but would freak out. But I go back to what I told you that we thought about later on after watching all the documentaries and stuff, that this whole time, where it says people were saying she found his stash and starting to tell his dad. I always immediately thought she found Paul's stash. She was going to tell.
Well, that's what I thought initially, and
then we went
through it. Yeah,
and we were like, what about if she found Alec's stash? And she was going to tell she was going to tell his dad. That's what it was. She found his stash and what she was going to tell his daddy.
That's where, was that Christine that brought that, or was that you and
I think that was me, because I said it. I told you, I was like, I never thought about that until I
didn't either.
I'd always heard the rumor about something that she did find something, but
we were talking about two different people, not Paul, but Alex.
Mm-hmm. It's in the HBO one. That guy, it's a local.
Yes.
He said for years
The
when he's sitting at the
reporter.
bar. Yeah, just in the white shirt or something. The guy, and he said he knew him, and like Gloria, and I think he knew Gloria's sister or something too. Like everyone knew, like she had, or those close to her specifically, like she had said something. But in the documentary, they won't even say the name, but they say that she found his stash and she threatened to tell his daddy.
Daddy.
Or sorry, tell his daddy. And so but they don't specify. So congratulations, HBO. Well done on the editing and the suspense of it. But I think it's Alex. She found Alex and was threatening to go to
Ashley
Randolph. Randolph Senior.
To go back and watch Low Country, and well, the other one is pretty Mallory Beach heavy.
Netflix is Mallory Beach heavy.
What's the other?
HBO one. HBO's Low Country
was the one that had all of them, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, they all include all of them, but Netflix included so much more because it has Connor Cook. All the interviews was like.
That's right. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I need to go back. I think I want to watch Low Country tonight.
There's also one, y'all, on ID Discovery.
Okay.
They did one.
Okay. Maybe we can list them in Facebook. If you know of more, we can put them in there.
Yes. And actually, you know who else? I think she's mentioned it a lot too. If you go back to Jen Liu's, I think even when we were all talking about it, remember if you wanted to check before you Google it, or if you want to see if someone has it listed in any Murdoch live or video that they did, I do know Jen, I want to say confidently, I believe Jen Liu even remembers saying she saw the ID, it's ID Discovery,
Well, to be fair and to really be honest, Jen Liu was the one that steered us onto Stephen Smith. So I really do encourage you to go watch some of her videos. I just dropped her link. I love the different perspectives. I just some I can get behind, and some of them this is what I love about some of these, working with everyone together in chat and working with LFT, is that some things I can get totally behind. And then sometimes the yarn falls short and I hit an end and I'm like, I can't get there. I can't figure that last thing out. I don't know why. I have a theory on the wallet. I have a theory on the car, but that's all they are. I don't know. I'm not really sure when it comes to Steven. I hope to God that we find out. More so, I hope his mom finds out. And I guess my prayer would be of acceptance with her, because she is definitely thinking one thing. And I see watching these interviews how it complicates. And I need to be better too. I'm not Steven's mom, but I need to be better too about being open-minded too, and thinking, well, maybe there was 3 people there.
Or it's not even that. I think it's like you told me, what I wanted, everything I want to do and know everything that you just said, but I also want to know what it is that made her so adamant, so gung-ho on Mark from at least up until, so we know on the 17th, July 17th, when she had one of her interviews with Duncan, and she's in the car. I mean, she is set on Mark. And then he asked her about rumors. And that's the first time that she brings up the Murdochs. She said, oh, about the Murdoch boys? She's like, yeah. And then she says, whoever they are.
Right.
First, but I want to know what it is that kind of pushed, do you know what I mean? What was
in her defense, if I found out my son was seeing that man, all the flags would be up too. And I'd be running them up the flagpole, you guys, this is the guy. This is the guy.
Yeah.
He's paying for my kid's phone. He's doing, all the things. So
they were aware of him, or the payments. But no, I mean, I legitimately would want to know, what is it? What made you? Because that would be in that moment, independent of everything else. Yes, hearing someone, like Mark Bickhart, and and the whole, his verbiage and his story, and then given Steven's behavior in the last 2 weeks, I could see why, yes, you would go there. But I'm genuinely curious. What was it that made you more or less eliminate him and be like, no, it's this? Not that I don't doubt. It's not like about
because I wonder
doubting
if he
her.
had an alibi. I wonder if the police gave her his alibi.
Well, they did let her know on the 17th too that they had heard from him and they had made contact with him and stuff, and there was stuff that they couldn't tell her, obviously.
Right.
But all that aside, I mean, I would like it was like at a dinner, like you're just sitting around if we were having this discussion with her, and it was just totally open. She'd be like, I was thinking this until I found out. I want to know what is it that made you go, no, like I thought I knew it. No, this, and I'm a mom, and my mother's instinct on top of everything else, and whatever she's hearing or being told, it jives and aligns in her mind. I think it was enough to make a switch. I mean, I'm legitimately curious as to like that moment. What was it?
She listens to every single rumor. And who wouldn't? And I'm not faulting her for that.
Mm-hmm.
I would too. I would listen. My ears would be to the ground. I'd be listening for everything. But the problem is in that area, as soon as you bring up the one particular family name, it's going to go like, I don't know. That it's interesting. He's considered doing
that's actually that might be the best thing I've heard. The biggest compliment I've heard in several plus days, joking or not.
I know. I actually really appreciate that because I just do. I really do. Thanks for being here, you guys. Even with the good vibes from Ellie declaring they're not moving forward. I agree. And I still feel like we're stalling out.
But see, I think like Kinsey and all those guys, like I think having Eric Bland on it, I don't think anyone has, my hope is, and my gut says right now, no attorney that's been helping the Smiths thus far, haven't had their best
we've gotten
interest at
farther
heart.
with Eric Bland than
yes, that's what I'm thinking. I think now it's kind of like I'm using capitalizing in a positive sense, capitalizing on this the momentum, the atmosphere, the need for answers, and and he's very vocal, and I just think this is a different set of characters. Like she's got a new set of characters. You've got Kinsey and these people, the two that are walking the scene and saying stuff and being like, no, I have questions. I mean, he's like, I've worked, everyone's being like this. It's almost like you and I do when we go, you got to talk to me like I'm a toddler. Because all these people that are like, no, it's legit, a hit and run, hands down. It's this one thing on the brainstem. That's it. That's what classifies it. But I'd be like, okay, I understand it, but you've got to detail it for me like I'm a toddler, because I need you to help me exclude all the other factors that don't exist at this scene and make that be okay in my head. Like, oh, so there wouldn't be a piece of glass or a torn shirt or his phone broken. Because, okay, all right, you would have to break it down to me. And so I'm wondering now, with these new fresh eyes, in a sense, with a platform to be vocal about it,
and people holding them accountable now too. You have Eric Bland, you have Bland Richter holding everybody accountable, and
what's his name, the attorney general, or what, the one that gave this speech, who hires not Harpootlian, who hires Waters?
Creighton.
Who hired that guy?
Know.
The one,
that
guy. I think he's up for re-election too coming up. So, he's going to be doing.
Shocker! Well, he better get on his game.
But
you can't hang your hat just on Alec Murdaugh, my friends. You're going to have to solve this one. This is a real mystery. Alec wasn't much of a mystery. I got to be honest with you.
Y'all, I think they cracked his cell phone well over a year ago, if I'm being honest.
Yes. Eliminate one.
It was.
Yeah.
It's been a hot minute since that phone was actually cracked, but nothing was said.
Break it down.
My guess is Big Heart probably helped him crack it. by
Benjamin,
accident.
we're gonna stop,
By
we're gonna
accident.
collaborate, and we're gonna listen. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna stop, collaborate, and listen.
For what? What are we doing?
Read. You're not reading chat.
No, I went to turn on the TV. I could.
All right. Well, let's shut her down. It is 12:30.
Alan Waters. Thank you, Demi.
I am going to say thank you to all of you for being here and hanging out with us tonight. It really did mean something to us. It always does. You know that. It always means something when you guys are here. I'm sorry for getting a case of the giggles with Mr. Bickhart. He just, he's a weirdo, bandirdo, can't do it. But do me a favor and please go to your favorite YouTube creators, hit a bunch of likes on their videos, leave a nice comment, tell them that Decipher has sent you. If you'd be so kind to put in, you gotta get more Kleenex for your texts.
Seriously, let me know if Word accepts it for y'all after you add it to the dictionary.
Texas. Thank you. Let me rewind that. Leave a comment, tell them Decipher sent you. And then if you wouldn't mind maybe liking a couple of our videos and leaving a comment on one of our videos, that would be awesome. If you would like to, I will actually drop our own links. I know it's
Oh my gosh, I can't use our emoji.
I'm not a
Here's
member. Our link if you would like to support us. We are super duper duper grateful. Okay.
Our members.
Wheel. Thank you.
To do our members only thing. That'll come up again too.
Yeah. Anything else, Miss Madam, before we go?
No,
Wish everyone a good night.
No, the good night. And then I was thinking, yes, we will do members only, like in terms of researching. And
hey, also, if you're in the Facebook group, we can go live in the Facebook group and do a research session in there and really, really keep it private.
Get out of town.
Just
saying.
Really? Yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Oh my gosh, Glenjamin, thank you so much.
That's so nice. Thank you so much.
Holy mackerel.
Will be to just keep an eye out as we do any kind of live, or if we post something, keep an eye out for timelines and let us know if you find something that we've missed or need to add, because I know that you and some others appreciate it. So make sure we don't miss any.
Happy Sunday to everyone. Please put your feet up and relax today. And we're going to be working on Steven a little bit later on after we get a little rest. But thank you guys for being here. And thank you, LFT, for all your hard work on all this. I appreciate you.
I know it.
I know you do.
I know you know.
Sucker.
I know you know. I know. Shut up.
All right, you guys. Oh, you're friends with his parents. Okay. We're going to look at the Facebook in just a few. You dozed off. Grandma Sherry, you're probably modding still at Queens too. So
Grandma Sherry's a mod.
Anybody else?
Grandma Sherry, I just had to say this too. I didn't even put 2 and 2 together. Last night I popped, when we all do, you're popping back and forth between live to live. I didn't even put 2 and 3 and 4 together. That Grandma Sherry is so amazing. I didn't realize she's a mod or a member everywhere I went, and I was like, wait, she's just, I love it. I just.
What's our Facebook group? Hold on, let me drop that really quick.
Pretty much. I hope that makes sense what I was saying. I just loved it. I was like, she's so good that I didn't even realize that I just saw her over there, and she's so engaged. She's on it, boom, hey, hello.
Everywhere you go, everywhere you go. There's our Facebook group. You are welcome to join. Just Decipher. Just search Decipher podcast. We should come up. And you can join the group in there and join the conversation.
I think it's in our about section too.
Yeah. You can make a friend, and we do message back and forth with people, and you have our email. on it like a stink on me. All right, you guys, have a great night. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the members, for your donations. We are so grateful.
Yes.
It really does help us out. I hope you guys have a great Sunday, and we will be back, maybe back tomorrow, but we'll definitely be back for Meeting of the Minds Monday. All right. Say goodnight, LFT.
Good night, y'all. Have a good one.
Good night.